Hey art nerds, happy Sunday. So we begin another artful week together. This week is my birthday, so on Friday I turn 35, but we've got small events planned throughout the week, culminating, hopefully, fingers crossed, in a crawfish boil on Saturday. So I'm really looking forward to that because I love boiled seafood, and I look forward to showing you guys how to pick and peel a few of my favorites. So today, family's coming over. Joseph's younger brother and his friend Rose are coming over. I'm going to take you guys to a local favorite frost top, which is the one we're going to, fingers crossed, is still like a traditional drive-in. There's two locations, and we've been to the one in Destrehan, and that one's kind of pretty plain, and the food is like disgustingly salty at this point. I'm hoping we can go to the one in Laplace, which I haven't been to since I was a little kid, and it looks way more like a traditional drive-through, drive-in, more like what Frost Top used to look like, and I haven't gotten burnt on their food yet, so maybe their food isn't just a total salt lick, but it used to be really good. I don't know what's going on at the one at Destrehan, other than I think maybe they're just not paying enough attention to what they're cooking. That or the local clientele. Everybody around here really likes their salt, really likes their salt. And it's to the point where it's like I can't eat some things that I used to love because it's like, oh y'all, that's going to give us all hypertension. But hopefully we're going to the cooler Frost Top. And then we also talked about going to Michael's. I got sent some epoxy resin. I told you guys about that, and I don't have any molds. So I'm going to go look at molds. But it'll be fun to share that with you guys as well. Tomorrow is our chill stream. The paper did not work out so well. That Crayola paper maker is not, the paper pulp they included, it basically makes like crackers instead of paper. You can't fold it, you can't bend it, it just crunches and breaks. And my mom's point is like, well, it teaches them how to make paper, but it's like, no, that's not necessarily how paper is traditionally made. Paper is traditionally made in a different method, which I'd love to do a chill stream on that as well. This is like a weird combination between mass production paper and handmade paper and just recycling wood pulp, basically. So I'm kind of disappointed that the Crayola paper maker wasn't better. It was a cool idea. The materials fell short. I think Crayola really needs to revisit that one because there's a lot of flaws. But I think we're doing origami tomorrow, which is a more sedate craft, but still one worthy of notice and of attention. On Tuesday, my younger brother is stealing me away for birthday festivities, and I don't know what's going on, and I like it like that. Good. Surprise me. So I have no idea what Tuesday has in store. And then Thursday is Artsquad, and we're going to be talking about drawing alligators, as well as possibly talking about drawing hands. And I was thinking about recording a tutorial on drawing hands, but that might add a little just too much work to this week. Although I know there's interest, I still have a backlog of videos I need to voice over and edit and get out to you guys, and it took me a week to get the how I prepare for classes video finished. It's uploading still. It took all night to upload. It's still uploading. It's like a 2-hour video or 2-hour tutorial, but I hope it's helpful and I hope it answers a lot of questions. Because other than very specific questions, it's like, I don't know what y'all are asking about. And then on Friday, it's my birthday, and I don't know if we're actually doing anything, but you know me, I will probably make something happen. I will probably stir something up. And then on Saturday, we're having seafood. So it's a pretty busy week, and somewhere in there, I think Wednesday is St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, it's a pretty busy week. Hopefully busy in a great way and not busy. Oh, Monday I have a doctor's appointment. So busy, such busy, much busy. But I still got to finish getting ready for family coming over. I just wanted to check in with you guys. If I have any time, I would like to get this illustration penciled. I would like to send postcards off to agents and editors and get that rolling again. I would like to paint this illustration if possible. I would like to voice over a lot of those videos that are kind of sitting in limbo right now, and I just scheduled a bunch of videos to go out to patrons, so back on that train. I'm glad. I apologize for falling off of it, and maybe do some watercolor studies, or maybe do some unbox and swatch videos, but it's going to be a busy week, and I'm just going to hang on tight and give it the best that I've got to give. So lately I've been trying to put together cuter outfits. You know, back when I was in grad school, I loved dressing cute every day. And depression just kind of robbed that of me. It got more difficult to find the energy to express myself in what I wore, especially working from home, because it was like, nobody's gonna see, nobody cares, it doesn't matter, I don't want to get paint on it. And actually doing the vlogs has been nice, because I want to start dressing cute again, because y'all are gonna see. And it's just fun to put together outfits again. And it also kind of like goaded me into working on finding a real estate agent, because it's like, well, everything is in boxes here. I can't access any of my stuff, or it's a lot of effort to access my clothes and stuff. And once we move, that can all be actually accessible, and I can actually utilize my wardrobe. So, yay! But I'm going to take you guys outside in a minute with Joseph's help to show you this actual outfit, and I think it's actually cuter without the glasses. I mean, they're real glasses. I do need glasses to see, but these might be a little large. I might go with some different ones for today. I know you're recording. Can you see my shoes?
No.
You can't see my shoes. It's hard to get a full shot, especially in horizontal landscape mode. And if I dip back, I might fall into the grass, which is not so cute. Alright, so apparently Frost Top is closed on Sundays, so I'm going to have to take y'all to Frost Top another time. But you know what's open on Sundays is Michael's, and apparently they're having a sale. Heck yeah! I got the pre-mixed tie-dye. Here's their selection of self-decorating cups, their folding boards, their paper cutters, and it's about time I got a different paper cutter because mine is driving me absolutely bonkers. Trying to avoid that family. More tumblers. But see, what I want is maybe one like this big one. Because look, you can cut all kinds of stuff. But $129, but it's Fiskars, and Fiskars is generally a good brand. So it's like right on that border for me of like, it would be useful but difficult to justify right now without somewhere to put it. I really like that this Michael's has the PSV. I guess it's the vinyl. Press and stick vinyl. That might be it. But I like that they have it just in sheets because it means you can just buy what you need in all these different pretty colors. And they still have their really ugly photo studio. You can definitely do better than this at a better price. And the somewhat interesting vacuum mold that is very intriguing, but I am not gonna buy it. And then things you can cricket onto, like shirts and coasters. And rolls of vinyl. And all the crickets. And then all of the cricket joy, the teeny tiny cricket. And the Joseph, the perennial Michael's favorite.
Wow, there's an entire aisle for cricket? That
Yeah,
just
of course.
dawned on me.
Yeah. How did you... Come on. Cricket is big money. Although apparently one should not buy one now because they had like a firmware update that might be borking machines. So it's best to wait.
Must be partnered with Apple.
Dun, dun. A friend in the paint box gave that tip off today. Because they're doing like a big old cricket sale, and cricket never goes on sale. Their Happy Planner section is pretty empty.
Entire section for Happy Planner.
There is. Happy Planner is a whole thing. I mean, they got me.
I just can't think of many stores in which entire aisles are dedicated to one, like, product.
It's like one brand name.
Yeah.
No. Usually they also have the Recollections journals over here too. They're just sold out. Resin. Frame molds. Bead molds. Beads might be good. Drawer knobs are cool. The little trays are super cute. But I'm thinking about coasters. Because apparently we need them.
Clippers made out of resin?
I don't know that I would want to use resin for a cutting board. It just seems heavy.
It can be.
This should be the solution to my kind of sad looking studio. It's the art section. Interview time. Joseph,
Yeah.
what is your least favorite part of Michael's?
I mean, I don't like any of it.
What's your favorite part of Michael's?
It's alright just looking around at stuff. What do you mean?
Has anybody ever told you you're a good husband for coming with me to Michael's?
No.
You're a good husband for coming with me to Michael's.
Okay.
And not nagging me out of Michael's the whole time. Hey, look, they got leather crafts and a cosplay section. That's new. And a Dremel section. Ooh, that's cool. They have the super little
Yeah,
point.
buy a piece of
I'm not getting it. Mom has a Dremel. I would just take her Dremel for a while. But it's cool because it would work well for like cutting wood block plates in the US. You know, we're not all David Bull. Ooh. That's neat. They've got like cosplay molds for you to be able to put like resin.
I get it.
So these are just alcohol markers. So if we ever do woodworking, we can use the wood burning tool to do leather branding, and you can use
And you don't have to spend 6 times more.
exactly because you've already got it.
Yeah.
And we can use like my Copex sparingly.
Yep.
So after I realized that, I was a little bit more on board with it. Oh, hey, look, they got soap making over here. This is one. They finally brought these back. They didn't have any of the kits for adults for a while. Because soap making and candle making were one of the ones I actually really wanted to do for a chill stream.
Materials can be expensive though, right?
They can be.
I mean, it's probably actually cheaper just to buy soap than it is to buy.
Well, I mean, but it's cheaper to buy anything than it is to make it, usually. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, even cooking. A hamburger at home starts to fall. So I'll put this here. You sit here. I'm going to look at you. And this is the acrylics and watercolor lane.
She went back in the front to go look for something. Here we be here already.
Something new was supposed to come out and she's looking to see if they're doing it here.
I'm not entirely sure. That's the point. She's looking for something.
Gotcha. I know some Michaels are introducing a maker space, like they'll have 3D printers and stuff. I'm impressed that they still carry open paper like that. I would think that would get damaged very easily. And now, on to Five Below. My greatest weakness. This is the stuff I was looking at online. I would have thought that they would have done more with the collaboration with her. And this is why I call it the better Five Below. Is usually, oh, it's gotten smaller, but in general, they have a half decent art supply section. Although it's mostly paint by number canvases right now, which is kind of a disappointment to see. And you guys might also recognize some stuff I've reviewed here in the past, like the Five Below watercolors and the glow-in-the-dark paints that don't actually glow. That's a little bit pricey, but these are helpful for watercolor people to dry our brushes with. These scrubby pads, if you're careful with them, aren't bad either. So they have more of the inexpensive BU tie-dye kits. I actually did this one, and it turned out okay. So for $3.25, it's not a bad afternoon craft. Alright, so they've got some new alcohol markers here. I haven't tried these yet, but I have tried similar ones. The Illy ones are the ones I've seen on AliExpress many times. And then, of the alcohol markers they have, these are usually the better ones.
I think I won.
Well, we might not have gotten to go to Frost Top today, but we're getting to hit the new Dollar Tree. This is the one, I believe, in Kenner, right off of that, and it just opened. So I've never been in this one.
Wow, has nothing in it.
This Weekly Wow has nothing in it. It's sold out.
I think there's nothing to wow about.
No wows. No wow wows. You can. I was thinking it does smell like new. Oh, their floral section is kind of small. It's got that like Walmart smell too. A lot of Easter stuff. Stationery section is kind of small though, not a whole lot. There's a little bit more, but still not a whole lot. I would really, really love to see like an American Daiso here in Louisiana, or just a Daiso in general in Louisiana, or Dollar Tree attempt to be more like Daiso in terms of like lots of stationery. Joseph found a toy. I guess this is the crafting aisle. Sure looks like it. Or at least one of two. So they actually have a bigger floral selection than I thought, but I can't decide if it's different fake flowers than they had at the other Dollar Tree I went to recently, or just different colors, or what. They've got yarn, including chenille. Lots of little bitty containers. Hey guys, good afternoon. So it is Monday. The weather is balmy, but not too bad. And I had another cute outfit I wanted to share with you guys, because it makes getting dressed up, you know, more fun, and getting dressed up makes the day more fun. So I think it's got a cumulative net balance for the positive. You know, feeling attractive, feeling confident, feeling cute can all lead to better things. I used to call it my armor back when I was in grad school, especially when talking to editors or anybody I was kind of nervous about. Dressing cute helped me feel more confident because I knew at least I was putting forward the best foot I could. And one of the best parts about this is I'm not really proposing you have to dress a particular way. I'm not a fan of that. If you are happiest dressing like a stylish clown, if you want to look like Harlequin, go for it, because that confidence is going to show through in how you think about yourself and how you talk to other people. So I'm not here to tell you how to dress cute. I think everybody's got their own way to do it. I think anyone can do it. I particularly like when guys dress really bright and flashy. I like bright colors myself. So I'm not here to be like, you have to do it a certain way, because this is not that kind of channel, and I'm not that kind of a person, if you know what I mean. But I do think it helps, especially when you are on camera as much as I am. And like, it's been, oh dear, uh-oh, Bo's walked off. Sorry about that, Bowie got away. We found him. He was lying just out of eyesight in a patch of clover. So one of the things about this rental is most of the doors do not actually shut unless you lock them. That's all the back doors, the front door. I talked to the landlady about it. She's kind of but today it was really a problem because I was outside recording. I don't want to lock myself out of the house, and I was only going to be out for a minute, and Bowie decided to see himself out. He flopped over. I thought it was okay, and then he snuck off. So if I had been able to shut the door properly from the get-go, none of that would have happened. So if you have a similar problem, I hope your landlord takes it more seriously than ours does. But that's the problem we're renting, and that's why we're still looking to buy. Anyway, I was saying, however you feel cute and you feel confident is enough. If it makes you more comfortable doing what you need to do, if you're more comfortable being on camera when you feel cute, if you're more comfortable tabling at a show when you feel cute, if it allows you to access parts of you that are more outgoing and more ambivert and more comfortable dealing with people, then dress what makes you happy. So many people here dress cookie cutter. So many people in Nashville dress cookie cutter. It's like there's a uniform and they feel safe in that, and that's fine. But if that's not you, dress how you want. People always have opinions about how I dress when I dress cute. Some of them are kind of ugly, like they have ugly opinions and they should keep them to themselves. But I don't care because I'm not dressing for them. I'm dressing because it makes me happier and because it makes, and because my husband enjoys, but mostly because it makes me happier and me a more confident person and me a better person. So to me, that is part of being an artist. When I was at SCAD, I used to do workshops on how to dress professionally. I think that is an important part of presenting yourself as an artist. And I mean, sometimes it just comes down to, please not pajamas unless that's the point of what you're doing, like you're doing a theme stream or it's a pajama con or whatever. Please clean. Don't wear dirty. Don't wear obvious stains unless it's paint stains and you're doing that for aesthetic effect as well. Please let it fit you mostly okay, you know, like not falling off unless that's the look as well, you know, like very, very basic stuff, but it really makes a difference, and it can make a difference in how you feel about yourself as well. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. That was my point. Like TJ Maxx, I did order this online from Carmico, so it was from an artist. My jeans are from TJ Maxx. Like, I don't go and spend a lot of money necessarily. There's a few shops like Trashy Diva, Urban Vintage, places like that that I'm willing to spend more money because I do like dressing kind of 50s. But in general, I don't necessarily spend a lot of money when I'm shopping because it's not about, for me, I don't care at all about designers unless it's like Carmico, like an artist whose work I like, and then I support it because I like the art. But it's not about brand names. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can hit up Goodwill. I know it's getting harder to find good stuff at Goodwill because people will buy it up and then resell it. And I have opinions that are not positive opinions about that. I do think you're kind of taking advantage of a system that's designed to help people for your own personal gain. And as someone whose own work gets taken advantage of that way, I have spicy feral kitten opinions about that. But you might live in an area where it hasn't been totally poached, and you might be able to find some cute stuff or some stuff that you can repurpose. So that was my 2 cents. You can take it or leave it. I just wanted to explain, I guess justify, which I don't have to do, why I've been like showing you all my outfits, is I feel like I've been dressing cuter lately and you can't really see it in a seated thing. And I just kind of wanted to also have a log of like cute outfits, you know, like for me. So like when I start feeling like I'm a slob and I don't look good, and you know what I mean, like my own bad mental headspace, I can look at it and be like, no, I look cute. Because like I gotta look at myself when I'm editing footage, and when I dress cute, it is way easier for me to look at myself. Anyway, we have so much to do today, and Bowie pulling a small disappearing act added to that to-do list. So I'm gonna go get things done today, and I'll see you guys metaphorically around 4 for the children. So I was talking to my doctor today, and we were talking about things I might struggle with, and I mentioned that I have these postcards to send out to agents and editors and publishers, and he asked, like, is this something you're particularly anxious about? No, not really. Is this something you don't have the materials for? No, I've got everything. So why haven't I done it? And basically the solution we found, and I'm giving it a shot tomorrow, is to create a liminal space. So in this instance, I'm going to go down to the park and just work on doing the postcards and getting them sent out. And I used to use this technique before COVID to, like, if I was working on a chapter and I was having, basically it was like my thing to go down to JJ's coffee shop and do all my chapters, whether it was for an anthology or for Kara to script my chapters at JJ's and do my thumbnails at JJ's. And with COVID, I've kind of lost the ability. I mean, some coffee shops are open, but you know, I don't know about sitting for an hour in a coffee shop working on a script. But during COVID, I kind of lost that like liminal workspace where I can't be distracted by the 10 million other things I want to do. So I'm gonna give sitting at the park working on postcards a try tomorrow. I'll let you guys know how that works. It is such a, I've put it off for so long without really good reason, and it's just such a low risk thing. Like, if they don't like the postcards, they're just gonna toss them, and if they like the postcards, they might put them up on the wall and I might hear back from them. It doesn't really cost me anything other than 25 cents for the postcard, 2 minutes of my time, and 45 cents for the stamp. You know, it's pretty low risk, and I'm already spending all this time making and sharing things on social media for it to go nowhere. So I'd put it off for so long. I keep talking about doing it. Y'all know in the vlog every week I'm like, and this week I'm gonna do postcards, and then it doesn't happen. So, and this week I'm gonna do postcards tomorrow. Printing out the addresses that Joseph has compiled. I've already put together all the postcards, the stamps, everything I want to include. They're in a bag, they're ready to go. So hopefully I'm setting myself up for success with this. And you know, this is a trick I used to use back in the day. I don't know why I didn't think to suggest doing it. I guess because like I'm too hard on myself sometimes, and sometimes I'm like, this is an easy thing. I should be able to do it, no problem. And then I just can't for weeks. So I hope that changing my space and changing the environment into this limited time environment helps me actually sit down, focus, and get those postcards did. So on another note, this week we're doing the How to Draw Hands mini tutorial. So I'm in my From Stick to Figure resource folder, and I'm trying to locate some of the breakdowns I've done of hands, because I'm going to need to print these so I can work on the standalone tutorial. Print. Donut fit to frame. Print. And I'm not going to necessarily spend as much time developing this tutorial as I did on the How to Draw Hair one, mostly because what I want to cover in this one is basic gestures for hands, how to think about gesturing hands, and then utilizing reference. Mostly because that kind of lines up better with my core values of there's no necessarily one set way of doing it. We're learning how to think about breaking it down, making it accessible, and finding your own way to do it, and relying on reference and putting in time and developing the motor skills are going to be some of the best ways to create positive drawing habits that change with you as your drawing ability improves. So I'm going to be working on that this week in between all the 1 million other things I'm working on. Fortunately, unfortunately, my mom's kind of late for today's chill stream. She's out weeding the flower bed, which good on her. I'm glad she finally feels well enough to do that. She'd had the veins in her legs zapped with lasers, pew, 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 and she's on this hormone blocker for her. She had breast cancer surgery, and she's on a hormone blocker for 5 years to prevent it from coming back. And the hormone blocker gives her really bad arthritis. And the stuff they gave her for her legs actually helps a lot with the arthritis. And I was like, well, you should tell your doctor that so that they can, because like she's in pain a lot, and this actually can go weed her flower bed. That's awesome. So she's a little bit late, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to use my time productively instead of just sitting around twiddling my fingers as I am apt to do. Okay, so today's chill stream was on doing origami, and the act of doing origami is fun. The instruction guide was frustrating. It really felt like 8th grade math problems where everyone else gets it and I'm the one like, we're missing a step here. I'm missing a step here. I don't get it. I don't understand. So Mom brought up an interesting point that we should try doing it again after I've started medication. And I do think that might be a pretty good test to see how effective the medication is, because that was bringing up some like old feelings of ADHD frustration, so would definitely be a pretty good test. So not much got accomplished today, which is frustrating. But tomorrow we're gonna do those postcards before birthday something. I don't know what. And it is 9:22, so it's like right at that point where it's like kind of too late for me to want to start a watercolor painting, but it's not bedtime. And I was thinking I might do some hand studies to help me prep for Thursday's class. So let me show you guys what I printed. These are going to be useful when I record the tutorial, probably on Wednesday. And these are from Stick to Figure workshop. So if you're an art nerd, as in on Patreon, you have access to this. And I need to be good about resending you guys the links, because Patreon is stupid about searching for content on a creator's Patreon, which means if you're a creator who shares specific things only to Patreon, it becomes annoying to search. I wish they would fix that feature. Every other site has a better alternative for that, but it means that I have to reshare stuff, or I should reshare stuff often so people can actually find it. I really need to like utilize my own website more, maybe have a patron section where they have access to that and it's just everything in one place and they can just always re-access that, because that's something I want to be more accessible for them, and I find Patreon kind of stymies how they're able to access it. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, because I do share a lot of class stuff with my patrons. I don't expect them to use it the day I share it. You know what I mean? I've written a blog for a decade. I don't expect people to consume things the day it goes live. Sometimes you need a bolt of lightning from the blue and then you decide to do something. Sometimes 4 years later you want to know where that tutorial was. So it's a little frustrating that Patreon isn't better about that, because theoretically if you don't have your own website, right, then your options are make it live, or I guess you could do like a playlist or have a Discord server. Anyway, I think I'm going to do some hand studies for the remainder of the season. So I'm including some footage of me rendering video. This is a more common sight at this house than my vlogs let on. I do spend a lot of time editing video on the phone, which allows me to generally edit it in the bathtub or edit it in bed, or basically anywhere that I'm more comfortable. And I shared how I edit using VN Editor in the vlog last week, and that's my current editor. If you guys have a favorite video editor, let me know down in the comments below. I also wanted to share some footage of me lettering this week's whiteboard. So every week I try to create a little calendar for you guys to see in the background of these vlogs that just kind of outlines what's going on this week. And this week is my birthday week. So on Friday, I turn 35. That is a big old number. And one of the reasons I'm trying to be more positive and out about my age is there's a lot of weird misconceptions about age and a lot of ageism on the internet. So if I can be a force for positivity in that realm, then I'm here for it. Because there are legit people who think that if you're 30, you're just like a wizened old crone. And I mean, I'm a crone in spirit, but I'm not a crone in body. But anyway, I'm lettering out my week for this week. It's a busy week. There's a lot going on, from the chill stream to working on the hand tutorial to Artsquad on Thursday to my birthday on Friday, and even a seafood boil on Saturday. There is so much going on this week. I just gotta hold on tight. And I decided to end my day by doing some hand studies to help me prepare for my class on Thursday. So last week, the week before, we spent a lot of time doing hair studies and creating a tutorial on drawing hair to prepare for Artsquad. This week, we're talking about drawing hands, although, to be honest, I feel like we will probably spend a very little time actually getting to talk about drawing hands, but I'm still going to record a tutorial on how I approach it and how I use reference to guide my studies. I hope you guys will look forward to it. And I am putting the finishing touches. I'm basically just screening how I create lesson plans, how I prepare for classes videos. So if you guys are interested in teaching art classes or just better understanding how I approach teaching art classes, I hope you guys will check that video out. Keep in mind, my amazing art nerds do get it first. So if you want it sooner rather than later, you can join me over on Patreon at patreon.com/natosoup. Gotta put the plug in there. But basically, I found some good, I don't want to call it stock image, but good reference photos of hands over on DeviantArt, and it was like 4 rows of 4, so 16 different hand poses, and I just kind of worked my way through all of them. I didn't necessarily dedicate a specific amount of time for each. I just kind of practiced drawing or redrawing them until I better understood the gist of that hand's position. And as I said for the hair drawing tutorial, if you teach art, I cannot recommend keeping a sketchbook of your own and doing studies of your own enough. I really do feel like you owe it to your students to, if you're teaching drawing, draw yourself. Come on. So I'm going to be doing hand studies every day until Thursday. Hopefully I'll have leveled up my ability to draw hands. It's such an expressive part of the body and so important for comic storytelling. It's definitely worth the investment. So other than printing out some blue lines for me to pencil later, this was my Monday. I hope you guys had a good Monday. I hope your start of the week was positive, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with some birthday festivities. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. So my family has something planned for me tonight that I'm supposed to get dressed up for, but I'm gonna go do postcards at the park. So I'm dressed park appropriate for now, and will change, I guess, when I get home. I have no idea what we're doing tonight, but I do have some work I gotta get done today, other than the postcards, which I'm trying to make it a point to use my planner again. I'd kind of fallen off of it, but you know, it's weird because I do get a lot of stuff done, but it's hard for me to focus. So I think a big part of it needs to be like reprioritizing what I want, but also coming around and having belief that the things I want to accomplish are within the realm of accomplishment. And I do think a lot of artists who are in their 30s and have just kind of disappeared from the internet might be struggling with the same thing that I'm struggling with, and maybe that's why they've disappeared, because I've certainly fantasized about disappearing many times. Or maybe they haven't actually disappeared. Maybe they're still there and you just forget they're there, and Twitter doesn't remind you that they're there, so you think, because like that's happened too, where people will be like, oh, you disappeared, Becca, and it's like, no, I'm still posting. Twitter just doesn't let you know. Or no, I'm still making videos. YouTube just hasn't let you know that there's anything out there. So I'm waiting on Joseph, which is fine. I'm debating whether or not I want to start one of the other tasks on my to-do list while I'm waiting for him, or if I just want to like sit and fritter my time. I think it would be best. Bo says, outside, take me outside, O-U-T-S-I-D-E, outside, outside, outside. Sorry dude, you ditched me yesterday. And when I do put you on your halter, you want to come right back in. So I don't know, maybe we'll take you with us to the park. We'll have to chat about that. But I guess I'm gonna get back to working on this larger illustration I've got going on of Kara and her family heading out camping. Last night I was productive in that I printed several illustrations, like Kara enjoying some snowballs, Kara with some beignets, Kara and Tanner enjoying the fireflies, and then an illustration to eventually, you guys can't see it because it's not gonna pick it up, eventually marker. But I'm hoping with medication I'll be ready to focus on Kickstarter stuff again. So I guess we're penciling. Alright, so we are at the East Bank Bridge Park, so all of those noises are people on the bridge. And I'm here to work on postcards. So I have addresses that I'm not going to show you because I don't want to dox people. I have my postcards, two types. I've got the Mardi Gras postcards, and I've also got the comic spread postcards. I've got labels and stickers galore. Stamps, which I'll just leave in my bag for right now. And a variety of pins, because who knows how well they'll work on that surface. And I thought I grabbed a highlighter. Maybe it's in here. Nope. Yep. genius me, I have a battery backup. So, mobile office, go! So I was hoping to catch y'all when Public Works isn't just using the wind blower on pavement to blow nothing, but that ain't gonna happen. So anyway, I'll try to talk loud and hopefully my phone knows enough to edit that out. I don't know. Anyway, this is how many I was able to get done in about 30 minutes. It's surprising how many are basically going out to Penguin, because at this point I think Penguin has acquired a lot of children's publishing. I'm not done. I still have a bunch left to do, but I'm out of stamps, so we're heading. Okay, so it's about 4:30. My family's about to pick me up. I actually don't know what we're doing, but they said to dress nice. So I dressed nice. I used to dress like this for shows all the time because, like I've said before, I feel like feeling like you look good helps with your confidence. And when you're doing sales, it's helpful to look the part. And since I sell a lot of pastel, children's book, fairy tale-y kind of stuff, with kind of a retro aesthetic, other than the manga influence, you know, it helps to kind of dress like this, and it also helps parents take me a little bit more seriously. And when I'm at anime cons, it also helps because, like, let's be real, I'm not actually, Bowie snuck out, I'm not actually, when I'm at anime cons, I'm not 15, I'm not 22, and I don't necessarily want to dress that young either, so it's helpful. I'll just take it. Bowie keeps trying to sneak out, because this, anyway, like to dress nice, haven't had a lot of occasions. It's nice to dress nice every now and then. Last time I really got to dress up was for my wedding in July of last year. So it's about 4:30. My family's always 15 minutes late, so they'll be here in 15 minutes. And I just wanted to show you guys my outfit. Oh, package for me.
You
Oh,
know
this came to the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know where we're going?
No, I thought that was a surprise.
Oh, you.
He knows. I don't know.
No, we're not going to the place I told him.
Oh, you lied. You tricked him. Oh, sneaky.
Yep.
Let me grab my purse. Bye, Bo.
Hey, Bowie.
Get a mask. Oh, snap. That was me. That's bad. Surprising. Joseph's gonna go get a pair of scissors, though.
Yes, all occasion.
The sash, right?
Yes.
The birthday sash?
Yes.
And then what? Y'all are taking
Oh,
me to a
Dev.
mattress pull?
Yes. There's also the necklace.
Oh, birthday
That's
necklace.
in the back.
All right. I mean, to be fair, I never got a bachelorette party of any shape or size. No wedding shower, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll take it. Birthday, I'll take it.
Party time.
We'll probably be celebrating our first anniversary before we ever even get to have a reception.
Trash in
Here,
my car.
I'll
Yeah.
let you put it on me. No, Joseph, because you're cutting.
The point goes down. The point side goes down on her hip.
Yeah. I figured that. I meant,
Yeah.
I didn't know if it went over the left shoulder or the right shoulder.
There you go. And I think it lights up, doesn't it?
Brown? Yes, somewhere.
Got to get those lights going.
Let me use. Y'all hinted at tiara, so
You were prepared, huh? You just didn't know it was going to be so ostentatious.
I know. There's not really a good spot.
Well, you can look in.
All right, there we
Okay,
go.
so here's the birthday girl, and it's not quite a
This
birthday.
is the style I wish to be treated with at all times.
Well, whenever you feel like you need to be treated like
Birthday
a queen,
Birthday
then
queen.
you should
Y'all might regret this hat.
dress like a queen, okay?
Birthday. This says, "Birthday, babe."
Okay, you're gonna get in the back, Devin?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that is my.
That's not all of it.
Oh, there's more
There's more.
birthday regalia.
There's
All right,
more.
sounds good. All right, can you hit?
So the surprise is Landry's, and I've got kind of a history with Landry's because we've done most of our major events here, from my graduation dinner to Joseph and I. A lot of our early dates were at Landry's, and it smells so good today. Oh, I didn't eat yet, so I'm pretty hungry. Hopefully I can do it some justice.
Ooh,
Let me know if you want me to take UNO campus even.
that was more than a year ago.
That was about 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
You know, it was just a little
Just a
while
minute
That was
ago.
Before y'all got married
That long ago.
2 years
in a
ago.
galaxy far, far away.
I doubt much has changed in 2 years.
So-
See the sailboat out
Yeah, yeah. I was watching people sail while we were eating. So this is Lakeshore Drive. It's kind of a park area. Depending on how far down Lakeshore you go, you'll end up with UNO on the other side. A friend used to pick me up and give me rides to school sometimes when I didn't live in the dorm, and he'd park on the other side of the levee, and we'd have to scramble up the levee,
there. Oh, fun.
and it was not fun.
What a great memory.
Where was Ponchartrain Beach?
Where UNO is.
Where UNO is. So there used to be a long time ago.
Well, not where UNO is. It's where, you know where that, at
Where
the end of...
War is, where the military, the naval building is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Lake Ponchartrain. That's brackish water out there. So you get oysters and you also get redfish.
You also get dolphins and you
Yeah,
also get
manatees,
bull
sharks.
and bull sharks.
Yeah.
And
When I was a girl, Dad would torture us by driving us out here with no set plan. But it's nice. You can rollerblade. You can ride your bike.
Now
the
you
fountain's
can.
going again. That fountain,
That's the Mardi
after
Gras
Katrina,
fountain.
yeah, the Mardi Gras fountain was shut off forever. They finally got it back up. Good for
we
them.
used to have these beautiful lights that
Yes.
were on it. But when Paul and I used to come out here when we first moved to Metairie, that was before I got married, none of this concrete was
Yeah,
here.
that's all.
They had to do that because it was eroding.
Yeah.
And it was just like sand and grass.
They were still working.
And then they had the steps.
They were still
concrete
working
steps.
on that when I was in high school too.
But I mean, so much of it was like, it just got to be terrible because, I mean, the concrete would be eroded out
Very
from
dangerous.
underneath it, and it
Yeah.
was just,
People ride their
oh,
bikes.
brand new pump. That's one of the new pump stations back.
Me?
Since
Maybe.
Katrina.
It does look
Katrina,
new.
or
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Rita?
Was it Rita?
Could have been.
That the 17th Street Canal.
Oh, I think that was
Or that
Katrina.
was Katrina.
That was Katrina.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see how much this area has come back, because it was pretty sad for a long time.
Well, it was closed for a lot of the time too.
Yeah.
Periodically they would close Lakeshore Drive because whatever they were.
And you see people with their poles out.
I think you can actually swim there now, but I would not swim there.
Hmm?
I think it's kind of at your own risk. There is no lifeguard.
There's so parts of Lake Ponchartrain, because I used to go out with EES and do seine nets, but that was on this like little beach out there, and they always had us wear shoes in the water and stuff because it was really dangerous. But there's a real problem with undertow that people just really can't overestimate.
It's nice
how bad
walk,
it's
though,
gonna
you know?
be. Yeah, it's pretty.
Nice
They've really
area to
cleaned
walk.
it up.
And on the other side of Ponchartrain Beach was Lincoln Beach.
Yeah.
And that was the Black Beach. So all that's gone
Yeah,
now. You know, it's
It must echo in that house.
I guess if that's even a
Concrete.
house, I don't know what that is.
I'm sure it's a house. That's
And
the
then my senior year of college, I used to have to come out and count. Ashley and I had to come out and count Quaker parrots and other invasive
Oh, yeah?
birds. Yeah, because they were trying to figure out whether what they were doing to control the Quaker parrot population was working
or not.
or not. They're tricky because they're cute, you know, so people want to feed them, but they're invasive and they chase out other birds.
Paul and
I
I used to
remember
go eat at McDonald's in Avondale. They used to have
Palm tree.
no, they weren't palm trees. They were like apple trees
Oh, okay.
that separated McDonald's from the Shell
Yeah.
station. And we used to sit there while we were eating. We
There's
used to
another
watch the
fountain.
Quaker parrots.
Yeah, this
In
one
the-
used to run.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know why it's
did.
not
That's
now.
the Mardi Gras fountain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a shame that it's not. I like that the other one is again. So when I was at UNO, basically all of this was shut down for the first 3 years. It was all these houses were abandoned because they'd all gotten flooded. It was really, really, really depressing living around here. And I'm so glad to see that. And this is a rich neighborhood, but I'm still so glad
I
to
would think you'd
see.
say that.
Huh?
I think you could look at the houses and
Yeah,
see
well,
that.
you know, I do want to caveat, like, this is, people have the money to come back. But I'm glad to see that people have come back, because for a while, you know, a lot of these houses were just empty.
Oh goodness.
I know, they got a lot going
What's
on.
going on over there?
No, it's Yetis,
No,
like
it's-
abominable snowmen. I always kind of like that house. It looks like a pool house.
This one?
Yeah.
This
Like an
looks like
aquarium.
no.
Yeah,
this,
it
no,
does
no,
look like an
that
aquarium.
is built to look like the old airport.
What?
Moisette Airport had that
Yeah.
main terminal was like.
So over this bridge is how you get to UNO. One of the ways. Oh, they cleaned this up too, because this used to look awful. It really did. They've fixed that up a
Well,
lot.
I had to get to it eventually. There's the pumping station.
Yeah, so these are the apartments by UNO. They've really built that up because they've got a lot more. Oh yeah, that pumping station is new. Hey, Joseph had a better time at UNO than I did, but he commuted and I lived in the dorms.
I mean, I commuted along Lakeshore Drive.
No. Well, hang on now. For the first 3 years you went to UNO. You drove from Gonzales.
First, like, year and a half to 2 years.
Oh, really? You were living along Lakeshore for 2 years?
Yeah,
Okay.
just bike along Lakeshore.
It was a good bike ride for you.
Yeah.
You were in better shape than I am.
University of New
There
Orleans.
you go.
Alma mater.
So that chimney is actually the credit union now, I believe, but it
So
used
what
to be
was
a
that
little
chimney of?
used to be a little
The
power
power plant.
station. Yeah.
So Ponchartrain Beach was over here.
Yes, and where that
Yeah.
pier was that you can't see because there's a mask in the way, but that's okay. That's where we'd go out and do EES seine netting and counting fish and things like that. Okay, so that's Kirschman Hall. That's one of the business buildings, really.
Oh,
They got the
good stuff.
nicest stuff. Everybody else got secondhand. Though, you can still see the terrible, sad portables where the art department is
You
sequestered.
think it's still art department?
Yeah, because every time they ask me for money, I ask if they've ever given them a proper building. And I always make it a
And
point
they
to say,
always
you know, I'm an
say-
art alumni. I'm not giving money until you do something better for the art department.
And they always say,
Well, it's always students, so they feel for me, but they're like, yeah, that's probably not gonna happen. And it's like, yep. All right. Anyway, that was a
yeah, so
brief
all that
tour
was
of
Ponchartrain Beach back there.
yeah, Lakeshore Drive.
This is
Some
new
beach
too.
back there, just not too much.
There is still some beach, but it's not.
Oh, the building.
That's the
I don't
police
know. I
building.
don't
That's new
recognize-
police.
Yeah, it's the police building.
Yeah, I think they just retrofitted it.
Right, so that's the gym over to the right, and then the UC.
Student Union's
And
right
while
there.
we were at UNO, the second floor was all closed off because it'd gotten wrecked during Katrina.
But you see how well planted everything
Yeah, they're
seems
trying to
be?
bring it back. It looks like they better. They
They've had
charge
how many
$20,000 a semester. They better make it better. You can't charge. Oh, they still got the old. What's it called?
Shall I go past your dorm?
No. Electrical engineering building. There's Bienville Hall, the newer dorm. Better than the cracker box they had us
Right
staying
over there.
in. Yeah, it's the newer dorm, the nicer dorm, not the.
Danville Hall was way over
Yeah.
there by the levee.
Oh, they built more. They used to do suck off there in that. I know that sounds awful. It was a crawfish festival that if you were a student.
That's why she says it fast.
Yeah, if you were a student of UNO, you got free crawfish. And that's it. And there's the Burger King that was only open sometimes. Right, so after Landry's, I guess we're going to Copelands for some dessert. Now, my friends who are from this area, y'all know about Copelands. But if you are from up north, Copelands is, it's not fine dining, but it's still considered a big deal. And when you're in high school and you're going to high school dances, you might go to Copeland's before. Or for Mother's Day, there's my family, and there's my husband. For Mother's Day, you might go to Copeland's. So it's like that kind of a place. It's like special occasion, but not like engagement. Husband is going to propose to you necessarily kind of place. Oh, there went. Dang it. That was a nice birthday. My brother arranged everything. The places we went to, the crown, the sash that I have since removed, the very charming birthday bling. I don't know about you guys, but I do actually really enjoy having a big deal made over my birthday. I think it's because I have trouble giving myself permission to have fun or make a big deal over myself on other events, but birthday can be a big deal. So, yeah, a nice early birthday, and there's still crawfish left to come on Saturday, so I'm still really looking forward to that. But it was a really nice evening out, and I hope as people get vaccinated, we can start to do more and more things. I know being able to go out for your birthday is not accessible to many people. Most people, it really depends on where you live in the country and how safe it is for you guys. So if it is another birthday spent at home, I sympathize. Last year, I basically didn't have a birthday. Joseph didn't get to have a birthday because COVID hit right when our birthdays were. So we really didn't get to have much of anything. In fact, I didn't get to have a bachelorette party or any kind of a wedding shower. There was nothing to commemorate that, really. So, yeah, it was nice to do something tonight. It was nice to feel special and celebrated. As cute as this dress and crown and necklace are, they're not practical for work, and I do still have some work I'd like to try to get done this evening, so I'm going to go change into something a little more work appropriate, and I'll see you guys in a minute. There we go. Both more comfortable and more festive. So something came in the mail for me today. Sounds like it might be the last thing I was waiting on from AliExpress, and somehow all of my scissors end up in the other room. Can't have that. So let's take a look. Yeah, it's the last part of the package I was waiting on. We've got superior watercolors from the Dingy store on AliExpress. I haven't gotten anything from this store that I've regretted. I'm sure they sell things I would regret sometimes, you know. With art supplies, it's a matter of taste. But in general, I haven't gotten anything that I was just like, this is terrible. Okay, I think these are the crystal vermilion, lapis lazuli. I thought I ordered more of these. Maybe they're all in this wrap package. And then I also thought I got some of the super granulating colors. All of these were purchased out of pocket, either using my own funds or funds from Patreon. Not sponsored, yada, yada, yada. I need to get the unbox and swatch for the first part of this out so I can do... Maybe I should just tack this on to that review. Maybe I should. There's no point in it being two separate videos. I mean, I don't mean tack this on. Obviously, this is vlog footage, not... Ooh, they really wrapped this up. Alright, I thought I ordered more than just vermilion and lapis lazuli, though. Ooh, and here... Alright, so I ordered one more tube of the super granulating stuff. I thought I ordered more than one, but whatever. This is the brown green color. I also ordered the malachite and the dino fossil brown. I think I couldn't resist, even though that's probably awful and I probably shouldn't do that, but I also kind of doubt it's made from real fossils, but maybe it's made from coprolite. So I should tack these on to the unbox and swatch for the other video. Yes, that makes sense to do that. Yes! Ooh, I had a headache all day today. Been trying to be in good vibe zone, no headache zone. Not working. That's okay. I had a good day anyway. And I hope you guys enjoyed being able to spend a little bit of my pre-birthday with me. I've been kind of trying to decide if I want to do a stream on Friday, my birthday or not. I wish I could just like hang out with y'all and have a cake. I wish I didn't have to like bring the content. I wish I could just feel like I could just hang out instead of feeling like I have to provide a service for y'all to want to hang out with me. But maybe that's in my head. I don't know. So I'm still kind of thinking about it, but I'm really... Ooh. I have so many things to unbox and swatch, but I have so many things to do voiceover work for. I need to get my booty in gear and get some stuff done. But speaking of getting ye old booty in gear, let's see what the planner has to say. I probably did not really get anything done today. Yeah, I didn't do any hand studies. I didn't voice over a video. I didn't finish penciling a watercolor illustration. I did go to the park and do postcards. So I did do something. It wasn't nothing. Anyway, and then tomorrow I need to do the hand drawing tutorial, and I might be able to go to the farmer's market. I did screen some video though, so it wasn't like a total waste. I don't really feel like doing hand studies. Like I said, I'm still kind of headachy, so I don't necessarily feel like doing that. So, but I do feel like doing something. But with a headache, I don't necessarily feel like being in this room because it's so bright. It does make headaches a lot more intense. Now, maybe I'll go take an Advil, drink some water, and see how I feel in 10 minutes.
So I did end up taking an Advil and working on the unbox and swatch. I'm just going to append this one onto the first one. I got most of it done tonight. The only thing left to do is the Once the watercolors have dried in the tubes, go back and swatch those just to check for reworkability.
Hey y'all, happy St. Patrick's Day. So I'm waiting on my hair to dry before I can finish my outfit, not outlet. And I'm going to be hitting the farmer's market today, but there's two other big tasks I want to try to accomplish. One, I want to do some more hand studies because I didn't have time to do that yesterday, and then I ended up doing some watercolor swatches instead. And two, I want to record my how I draw hands or how I think about drawing hands tutorial. I still need to edit the how to draw hair tutorial, but I did finish up screening the how I go about teaching classes tutorial slash vlog. It's really a longer one and there's a lot of just vlog stuff in that. So I do think at a later date I'll probably prepare a more concise how I go about teaching classes video. I've got loads of ideas for how I go about doing that. I do think I offer some unique insight because I've done a boatload of student teaching at a variety of ages. I have an MFA in art from SCAD. I've taught at conventions across the country. I've taught at several different libraries, and I've taught at storefronts as well as private teaching institutions as well. So I think I have a really interesting, eclectic experience, background with teaching, which is quite different from your average K through 12 teacher, and not disparaging K through 12 art education, but I do think there are other modes of teaching art education. I think there are other schools of thought, and I think there's a lot of room for extracurricular art education, whether you're learning through YouTube or Skillshare or you're taking classes. So that's something I want to explore for a while here on the channel. Maybe I can offer some inspiration to people who teach in a traditional setting and they're looking for some interesting modules or some interesting techniques, especially because I don't have a background necessarily in education. I didn't go to school for education despite student teaching while at SCAD. I actually went to school for art twice. So that's a very different background. I have a lot of experience with art education as a student, in addition to a lot of experience with art education as someone who's teaching art. And then since my focus is also on things that are usually neglected by art education, comics, figure drawing, watercolor, alcohol markers, working with digital assets and selling your own stuff, that's a very different avenue of art education as well. So if I get enough encouragement, I will definitely want to do that. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments of this vlog. It'll probably get lost, so I'll probably have to ask again. But I think it would be a really interesting thing to explore for a while here on the channel, especially because I've talked about making comics and taught making comics here on YouTube for such a long time. So let me go ahead and get cracking with those hand studies. Those are going to be my warm-up. So sorry, I just brushed my teeth. I don't know why I'm burping so much. Those are going to be my warm-up for today. Get my fingers limbered up, get my brain limbered up. That's really important. And then maybe we can dive into that tutorial. Oh, and I will show you guys my full outfit, but I am definitely festive today. It's just hard to see on camera.
So for today's warm-up, I spent about 20 minutes doing different hand studies just to help warm up, but also to help me prepare for the tutorial I recorded later on in the day. So while recording the how I prepare for classes tutorial, I spent a lot of time doing hair studies, and I also spent a lot of time encouraging other artists and art teachers to keep a sketchbook and to practice. And I am just such a firm believer of this. I really leveled up my ability to draw hands while preparing for this. I was really pretty rusty, and I really needed
this additional time to practice and warm up and kind of refine these skills. And whether you're teaching kids, adults, or people anywhere in between, this is an investment that's well worth making. I really do feel like no matter what age group you're teaching, they can tell if you're not invested in what you have to show them. Happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. I just wanted to share the outfit. It's kind of cute. All right, I'm off to the farmer's market. Big thanks to Joseph for taking a minute out of his day to record this. I do appreciate it. Okay, so I am heading off. Oh, kitty cat. Oh, kitty cat coming to get pets from his mama. I love it. It does your heart good to see. I am heading off to the West Bank Farmers Market because they've got some seriously delicious crawfish sausage that I need to purchase for my dining needs. Hopefully the car noise isn't too loud. And sometimes I do my best thinking when I'm driving. But I was kind of having a struggle morning this morning. And I wanted to share that with you guys because part of doing these vlogs is solidarity with other artists, kind of regardless of where you guys are, where we are, I guess, in our journey. Oh, my camera fell. I'm driving. More important to pay attention to the road. Keep telling Joseph this mount is broken. And he's like, I'll take a look at it, I'll take a look at it. And it doesn't happen. And I keep wanting to buy a new one, but he doesn't like throwing good money after bad when something can be repaired. So it's just one of these days this mount's just gonna disappear and he won't notice probably because it's in my car and I'm the one who drives it for the most part. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is self-confidence in regards to ourselves as people, ourselves in relation to our art, and ourselves as social creatures that are increasingly reliant on social media for our social interactions. He wants to turn so I can take it. Thank you. And I am so sorry the camera keeps falling. Like, I ought to show him the video, like, this is what happens. Anyway, so self-confidence is something I really, really struggle with. I am sure it is not a secret. I'm sure you guys can tell. It definitely affects how I'm perceived professionally because people regard a lack of confidence, they regard anxiety as, you know, someone isn't ready or they're not prepared for the job, when often for artists, the confidence is more about getting picked for something, being good enough for something, and then once you've gotten to that point, you know you can do the job. And that's hard to explain to people, especially people who kind of struggle with it themselves. And so much of working as an artist is competing for gigs. I don't like calling other artists my competition. We all have strengths and weaknesses. We all have unique selling points. But a lot of working, whether you're working as a teaching artist or as a, you're doing just drawing as your art, or even on YouTube, you're competing for people's attention. You're trying to convince people that you're a good pick, that you're how they should spend their time, that how they should spend their money, how they should spend their resources. And that can, when you really struggle with it, when you live in an area of the country where there's a scarcity of jobs, or a scarcity of opportunities, or a scarcity of education or of resources, it can really begin to take a really heavy toll on you. And a lot of artists are very reliant on their network of friends, many of which are real life friends, people they know for the most part in real life. They might have met them online, but they hang out at shows. They might end up moving to the same area of the country. They might visit one another, but they're very reliant on their network to find new jobs and to find new opportunities. And I've never really felt like I could rely on my network for that kind of stuff. I always noticed that I tended to be forgotten by, my other comic artist friends when it came time to recommend jobs. And when I kind of ask about, like, hey, how come you don't remember me? I'm looking for work too. It's always because they'll be like, oh, you're so good, I don't know why you can't find work. And it would be like, well, do you ever recommend me? Oh, I forgot about you. You just seem so busy. I never remember that you're looking for like legitimate paying work. So it's definitely taken a huge toll on my confidence over the years, and it's made it very challenging for me to speak with confidence and speak with authority. Often when I get to talking about something, especially topics that I'm really passionate about, I kind of can get over that and get past it, but that requires actually talking to me and seeing my face. And I'm one of those people who does really well at in-person job interviews and in-person just, chatting about the requirements of a job, but I don't necessarily do super well applying for jobs online. So it's something I am really struggling with. It's actually something my psychologist pointed out that I need to work on, that I draw beautifully, I'm well educated, I'm intelligent, I'm articulate, I should have more self-confidence than I do. And I mean, I've had, like, as he and I have discussed, I've had a hard life. Like, I had a hard childhood. I had a lot of really bad things happen to me in my formative years. I had a lot of insecurity, whether it's with family and loved ones, or whether it's my place in the world. And I definitely recognize that all of that can contribute to it. But I don't think that's the main reason I feel this way. I think a lot of it is just feeling very isolated from the main body. Like, you can make comics anywhere. I'm not going to say you can't. I live in Louisiana, and before that I lived in Tennessee. You can make comics anywhere, but in order to find work in the comics industry, and this is increasingly less true, but still true, and it was very true before COVID, it really helps to be able to do the shows, table at shows, meet people, talk to people, give people a chance to know you as a human, because then they're going to be more likely to recommend you to, editors, to publishers, to agents who are looking for new talent. And when you live in Tennessee and you can't attend ladies' night, and you can't attend comic signings, and you can't attend gallery openings for comic stuff because that's 8 hours away, you do become very isolated, and people do forget you exist. Now, part of why I moved back to Louisiana is because I hate that. I hate that we have a very small number of comic hubs across a very large country. I think every state should have a comics hub, and the only way to actually change that is to do what people have done in Ohio and live in a place that isn't a comics hub and fight to make it a comics hub. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I had to get my caffeine fix. So, a big part of me moving back to Louisiana was for the last few years in Nashville, when I was teaching at NCE, when I was tabling at Handmade and Bound, when I was teaching through Plaza, I realized I was actually putting a lot of effort into creating a comic scene and fighting for a comic scene in an area, oh, it really fell, in an area I don't have any love for. Like, I tried to love Nashville, it never happened for me. And I realized if I'm going to put all this energy into this place I don't love, I'm better off putting all that energy and love into a place I do love, and a place I come from, in a place that I think might be more receptive to me because I'm one of their own. So that was one of the pushes to move back to Louisiana, was, you know, I have all this, when I'm medicated, I guess, in better circumstances, I guess, I have all this love and energy and knowledge and experience to give, and I think I would rather just give that to I'd rather give all of that to make the place I'm from into a comics hub, because I think, to me, in my heart, Louisiana deserves it more because it's where I'm from and it's my energy that I'm choosing to give. So, but it does, you know, you do feel kind of isolated, you feel lonely, you feel it's very hard to find work, it's very hard to convince people to take a chance on someone who is so remote. You know, I knew I was going to be starting from scratch. It's just my misfortune that a pandemic happened right when I was supposed to be starting from scratch. And that just makes it very challenging, because then you're very online reliant. Like, in some ways, I'm very fortunate, but I also worked very hard. The library system here has some librarians in it who are just like amazing. I love them so much. I like working with them. They're really, really nice people. They like get me, and they have plans for the future, and they actually want to utilize my talents, you know? So, but we can't do that to the extent we would like to do it during a pandemic. And there's also difficulty there's interest, but then there's difficulty getting parents to bring their kids, or getting kids to show up on Zoom at a certain time, you know, just like normal regular life issues that we're still kind of figuring out. But I am just so sorry about the camera. I am just so ready for the pandemic to be over. I'm so ready to get my vaccine. I'm so ready to go back on ADHD treatment and just be like the full Becca I know I can be. And I do hope, I was actually very strongly considering finding an ADHD life coach, because I think that might help with the confidence. Also, like, to be frank, in Louisiana, so much of your life, so much of your success is people willing to vouch for you, people willing to go to bat for you. And I could certainly do with more people willing to talk me up, especially if I'm going to go into private tutoring down here. So, you know, I also think, and these might be fighting words, we'll see, I think I have noticed that men on YouTube are often taken more seriously. They're considered professionals. What they have to say is taken more seriously by a wider variety of people. And this, my case study is fairly small. Like, you've got Proco, you've got Vine Sauce, you've got John Green, you've got these like Tom Scott, you've got these people who, they're really just like show hosts. They are not necessarily bringing like a boatload of education. Proco being the exception there. They're not necessarily bringing a boatload of education, but they are able to convince people with that experience to talk to them and share their time with them, even during a pandemic, some of them. And they're able to do the research. But I've noticed that women on YouTube are treated more like what we have to offer is a hobby. It's not as serious. We're not as educated, even if we are, or more so, we're not as legit as our male counterparts. And I mean, obviously, I'm a woman on YouTube. I find that intensely frustrating. I mean, I've noticed it to an extent because I do watch, you know, beauty videos. I've noticed it in the commentary community. I've noticed it in the art community. I've noticed it in the science and education community. And it's very disheartening, especially because, I mean, professional comic artist. I've also gig taught for like a decade now. I have 2 degrees to my name. I just happen to look, I mean, I'm 34. I'm not even that young, but I happen to look young, and I happen to be a woman, and I happen to identify as a woman. So it's frustrating because that's a battle that I am aware of and I see, and I would like to help change things. I feel like women aren't taken as seriously on YouTube for what we have to offer in terms of information and experience. I mean, I constantly have people in some of my live streams wanting to argue with me about what the comic industry is like, and they don't live in this country, and they're speaking about an industry that isn't necessarily the same in their country, but they're speaking about US companies. And it's just very frustrating because I feel like even though I am a comic artist who is participating in the industry in this country, who keeps up with the industry in this country, who is involved in conventions and is involved in talking to other artists and listens to podcasts and went to SCAD, an art school with a comics program that's produced many, many, many artists who end up working for Marvel, DC, and Disney. What I have to say about it is just completely thrown out the window. It's disregarded, and it can be frustrating. Oh, okay, sure, sir. You really want to go fast? All right, go Sonic, go Sonic, go Sonic, go. Okay. So yeah, I think also men's confidence is perceived differently than women's confidence in this country on the internet. I think we still have a lot of problems in comics where women are not utilized, they're not taken seriously, their experiences are blown off, their knowledge is blown off, it's seen as just not legit enough, not good enough. And I don't know how to combat that. I don't know how to battle that other than just keep trying to be visible and keep trying to do my thing and keep pointing out, like, when my experience is being blown off and it's based on sexism rather than, knowledge. So, confidence, y'all. Confidence is a hard thing. I'm not confident in this phone mount at all. I think I'm going to chuck it in the garbage as soon as I get to my destination. And it's hard to battle it when you also you're still battling sexism, you're still battling misogyny, you're still battling people's perceptions of what women do and what women know. And like, I have kind of a higher pitched voice. It does get on my own nerves if it makes y'all feel better. And people think I'm 14 on the phone. They think I'm 14 on video calls, So like, even though I'm literally 20 years older than that, I have 20 years more experience than that, I get dismissed as a teenager and as someone who doesn't know the things she's claiming to know. And I would just like a fair opportunity to like demonstrate my knowledge, But it's hard to be confident when you're battling, when you've got things like that to consider that I feel like maybe my male counterparts don't have to think about. They don't have to worry about it. I mean, like, anybody who follows American comics knows what a rampant problem sexual harassment and sexism are in our industry. And as a woman, it's often a toss-up. Do I say something? Do I call them out and risk getting blacklisted? Risk people saying, telling other people behind closed doors that you're impossible to work with because, she might report you for sexism. I had male teachers who would not see female students after hours to discuss grades, even with the door open, because they were afraid that they would get reported for sexism, that someone would claim something. I had male teachers who took on male mentees. They would mentor male students, but they wouldn't mentor female students for the same reason. So, I feel like people can argue what they want to argue, but I'm talking about my my lived experiences. And these are issues that pop up once a year on Twitter, to be frank. Like, there's like a new, I say a new, but it's always the same guys who just get hired by a different company, and then people are pointing out like, hey, he sexually harassed me at a con 2 years ago, and then there's a big kerfluffle and he gets fired, but really he just gets migrated to the same position at another comics company where he can continue to do what he's gonna do. And like, you know, it makes it a very challenging situation to work in. It makes it a challenging, what, dude, are they not doing the farmer's market today? And I don't think that's something my male classmates, my male counterparts really have to struggle with, being denied a mentorship because you're a woman and the person offering a mentorship is afraid of afraid of being accused of sexual harassment. Like, that's a pretty obvious one. All right, anyway, I am where I am. Looks like the farmer's market is not as booming as it was a few weeks ago. I am super duper duper pooper sorry about my camera mount and it flopping all over the place. Obviously that is not professional. I definitely want to get a different one. So thanks for chatting with me about confidence. I wish I had like positive advice or enriching advice or uplifting advice for this. I don't. It's something I'm struggling with. Putting myself out there has not made it easier. It's made it harder. And it's something that I'm talking to a professional about because it is such a hindrance to my life. It is so preventing me from pursuing the things that I want to pursue and the things that I'm qualified to pursue. And it keeps me from having the confidence to talk. Oh, I guess people just haven't gotten here. All right. Scad Becca, who drew like poop, had more confidence than current Becca, because Scad Becca was in an environment where she had friends who were encouraging her work and who she could encourage, where she could receive critique and feedback and give feedback and critique, where she felt like sometimes what she had to say was valuable and insightful and useful to other people. And modern Becca feels so isolated because for me the internet doesn't scratch that itch. Like, it doesn't. Like, I love the paint box, but I don't feel like it's helping me. I know, I'm sorry. That sounds really rough, but I don't feel like it's helping my confidence. I don't feel like it's helping me with networking. Sometimes I feel like it's a place I have to maintain, and I'm glad other people enjoy it, but for me it's work. And that's not an uncommon thing. It's not an uncommon sentiment among Discord moderators. In fact, moderator burnout is a real problem on Discord, and I've been burnt out from Inkdrop and from the paint box numerous times, and I have to step away a little bit and come back. And fortunately, the paint box is a really good community of people, and I don't have to like hover mother them, but just having to always being responsible for always having something positive to say about other people's work, whether or not they ever engage me about mine, being responsible for telling people you really are not allowed to curse in the public boards because this is an all ages Discord, and then people sometimes forget that or ignore it, and then I'm telling the same people that over and over again. It gets to be a lot. Having to remind people that they need to comment on other people's art before they post their own when it's in the rules, and then they're like, it's not in the rules, and it's like, it's in the rules. You haven't read the rules. You know, just Discord stuff. Anyway, enough complaining. I'm gonna go check out the farmer's market. It looks like nobody is here today, which means I am not getting my crawfish sausage.
I did actually get my crawfish sausage, so yatta. And when I got home, I got cracking on my how to draw hands tutorial, and these are some snippets from that. I'm actually really excited about this. So before I left the bridge park, I walked around a couple of times with my family, which really helped with my ability to focus while doing the tutorial. So I'm going to be trying to work in exercise and into my daily life more frequently, since it really helps so much with focus. Now, this tutorial really took it out of me. I had a lot of fun recording it, but it was also kind of like running a marathon, and I end up talking about that a little bit more. I am going to release this to the public eventually, but my amazing patrons on Patreon are going to get it first. So if you like it early, or if you just want to support the work I do here, please join me over on Patreon.
Okay, so I just wrapped up my how to draw hands tutorial, and I recorded this to kind of help me prep for Artsquad. Now, we're really probably not going to get that in depth, but it's really cool to be able to use Artsquad to inspire the tutorials that I create for the channel, and to also help me grow, to propel my growth as an artist. So it becomes this really rewarding and reciprocal relationship. That said, that tutorial wore me out. I feel like I ran a marathon. It's mostly because it's a lot of standing up and hunching so I can see what I'm doing and so I can draw without it getting totally skewed, as well as talking, and I'm in a position where I can't really draw a nice full breath. So you know, recording art tutorials, a little bit of a workout if you're doing it, I guess, traditionally. So I am glad that is done. I still have to teach the Artsquad, or co-host the Artsquad, sorry, but that's much easier than recording a tutorial, to be honest. But one of the downsides is I'm starting to have this backlog of tutorials that I need to edit and get out. That's on me. That's not on anybody else. And that's just not that interesting to watch. So we're doing the vlogs, they tend to get put off because, like, who wants to sit around and watch me edit video? Even though it is kind of a big part of my day-to-day life, I do actually spend a lot of time editing video, including for these vlogs, because like I said before, every day I edit that day's vlog that evening, so I'm not spending 7 hours editing on a Saturday. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take a bit of a break. So I went to the farmer's market earlier and we walked around for a while, got some exercise, which is good. That actually helped me buckle down and focus on getting this done. So that was also an investment. But I'm feeling a little worn out and I'm definitely hungry. So I think it's a good time to take a break, clean the drafting table, get something to eat, and maybe work on either some watercolors or doing some voiceover work or editing some of the backlog of video. So it's like 9 o'clock at night. Our power went out due to the thunderstorm around 8. So we just took a bath and are going to go to bed early and play video games. So night, y'all. See you tomorrow. Hey guys, it is Thursday, and that means we have Artsquad this evening. I've got a special unicorn horn that I'm gonna wear since tomorrow is my birthday, and several of the kids are really into fairies and unicorns, so I thought they'd get a kick out of that. Last night the electricity went out, so instead of being able to work on this illustration I started, we just kind of went to bed early and I edited videos in bed. So today I'm gonna try to get some paint on the paper here and pack it up in time for Artsquad. But I've already put down some yellow and some blue. It is absolutely sopping wet, so we're gonna go take a walk. I've got some annoyance to burn off. And I think taking a walk is a very healthy way to deal with my frustrations. So, anyway, it's time to go take a walk. Get that thought out of my head, get some exercise, do something productive, come back and paint, and then do Artsquad this evening. That is a good pre-birthday thing to do, yes. So it is almost, it's almost 5:45. Artsquad's about to start, and theoretically today we're drawing alligators and we're practicing drawing hands. And to prep for that, I recorded a tutorial on how to draw hands, and hopefully that'll be helpful to you guys. Since tomorrow is my birthday, I did want to be festive, especially because so many people are celebrating at home for yet another year. This will be the second year where you can't really do anything. Although my mom is getting her COVID vaccine tomorrow, so that's good news. I still have to wait a while, but I hear we're supposed to be everyone is supposed to have been vaccinated by, it started with June, and then people were saying April, and then people were saying May. Who knows? I know life is not going to go back to the way it was, but it would be nice to see some positive progress without regressing. I know a lot of people with disabilities do like the flexibility of sometimes working at home, so I hope that we don't lose that. So I need to go ahead and get signed into Zoom, and other than that, I'm ready. My camera's set up, sorry, I'm having trouble finding it. It just tends to get lost in here. My camera's set up, everything else is ready to go. So, I guess it's time for Artsquad, but unfortunately it won't show up on camera, but I do have a birthday girl sash and a birthday babe necklace, and of course my birthday babe unicorn horn, because tomorrow's my birthday. Alright, so we just wrapped up yet another Artsquad. That was a lot of fun. I wish my brain had been clicking along better to better explain the hands, but hopefully the tutorial I recorded will help for the ones who are interested in learning more or improving that. It is one of those things where being able to do it in person makes it just so much easier because you can really work with people and demonstrate things for people, and doing it via Zoom just makes it a little bit more challenging. So I'm pretty beat. I still have that watercolor painting to work on. My hand is all stained up. I'm hoping vinegar will take that out. And it's definitely time to eat something and hydrate. So I'm going to do just that. But don't I look super cute with this unicorn horn? It really suits me. It should be part of my daily look, huh? Alright guys, so it is 10 o'clock. I finished up with the camellia study I was working on. I'm not super happy with how it turned out, but you know what? That's fine. It's a study. There are things I like how they turned out. So the whole thing about doing studies, whether they're watercolor studies or they're sketches or whatever, is not every single one is going to be a piece you're proud of or a piece you think is amazing or whatever. But as long as you learn something from it, it's worth your time, it's worth your while. So if you try different things and they fail, you learn something. If you try different things and those aspects worked, but the whole kind of failed, it was worth it. So not every piece you do has to be amazing, a masterpiece, something you're really proud of, or even something you'd share to social media. It's okay to draw, to paint, to sketch things that aren't ever gonna go anywhere. So since it is 10 o'clock at night, I don't really want to start something super new. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna clean up my desk area, and I think I'm gonna fill some fill some empty Copic sketch markers with alcohol inks. So that, I guess, will be the rest of my evening. All right, so I have filled alcohol markers with other various inks in the past, and I actually have tutorials here on the channel where I kind of walk you guys through it. It's really not complicated though. So basically we have a bunch of empty markers. These are empty Copic sketch markers. I think I got them off of a scrapbooking site that one of you guys very generously recommended. I'll be sure to put a link down in the description below if you want to order your own. They really had a very fair price. It was like $5.22 per marker, which is one of the lowest prices I've seen for empty Copic sketches. I wish you could just go to any of your normal Copic vendors and be able to buy empties. Unfortunately, that's not so much the case. So an empty Copic sketch is literally an empty marker. There's nothing in it at all. So this allows you to fill it with any ink or any custom ink, any alcohol ink specifically that you'd like. You could theoretically fill them with dye-based, water-based inks. I would love to do that, but they're too expensive for me to experiment with that. So that's not going to happen. So I have 10 of these sketches, and I have a selection of colors that I could fill. So what I like to do is I kind of like to start by picking the colors that I'm going to want to fill with. Also got this marabou. I don't think I ever even swatched this marabou, so I might as well do that. What's wrong with you? Oh, I might have to snip the tube. That's annoying. Especially because even though this is a studio, I never have any scissors. I'll put that to the side. So one thing I'm going to avoid is any of these metallics, any of these with additives in them. I don't think they would do so well in a marker like this, and I'll show you why. They have a shaker ball inside to kind of get the pigments inside moving. So they just don't seem like they would be super duper great for putting into a static alcohol marker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just set them aside so I don't grab them by accident. And I've done this before, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pick out the ones that have already gotten markers filled with them. And some of these I'm going to have to re-swatch too, because I don't quite remember if I ever filled anything with them. Some of them are so full, I don't think I did. And some of them are so dusty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that more than brings us to where we want to be. So I'm going to re-swatch some of these. What's popular to do right now is to use these sort of liquid alcohol inks and apply them to a non-porous surface like a sealed tile or like to glass, and to really get that alcohol ink color movement. And that's something I'd actually be very interested in playing around with as a chill stream at some point, although I think the fumes will probably be pretty intense, so we might have to do that one outside. I do try to be pretty methodical when it comes to art supplies. I'm not just filling any old color. I'm trying to use colors I think I will actually utilize, because when I'm using these, I do actually use many of these self-filled Copic sketches, like Pitch Black, using Ranger Adirondack Pitch Black. It's like a really nice warm, super dark brown, so that's a very useful color. And we're at what, 7 here? So I need to nix that one. And I think that gives us 10 total. We've got the new colors I recently picked up, and then we've also got these that I've had for a while. So I'll demonstrate filling one for you guys, and I think from there you can kind of get the gist. So one thing that's handy is to go ahead and write your name, the color name on it. So R for Ranger. We don't have a color number for these, so what I am going to end up doing is I'm going to end up applying. You could use photo paper, you could use sticker paper. You can mark the plastic. It's not really that big a deal. And another thing is this gets messy. So you can actually use rubbing alcohol as a solvent for alcohol inks. So you want to have some rubbing alcohol on hand for cleanup later. So this fits in pretty neatly. Now keep in mind, we've never filled this, so it's a completely dry wick inside. And what we're looking for is for when the color reaches the brush. Now you could opt to remove the brush end. It's really up to you. Don't want to overfill because these things are very drippy if you overfill. And we're holding it like this because we want the ink to reach all the way down to the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is I really don't want to overfill this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and cap it. We're gonna open this side. We're gonna saturate the brush. Oh yeah, see, I did overfill it. All right, well, what do we do? That cap does not work. What do we do when we've overfilled our Copic? Well, it's gonna cause problems because you see this cap, it's full of wet ink. But since I've already got it open, why don't we swatch it? So that's the color we're looking at. So one of the first things I'm gonna have to do is, I can't easily pour this out, otherwise I would. So this is where you might wanna have some eyedroppers. You could use an eyedropper actually to suction it out. That would be useful. Q-tips to stick in there and clean it up. And I used to think artists and crafters who talk all the time about cleaning their caps and needing to have clean caps, etc., etc., I used to think they were just being persnickety, but it really does ruin your markers if they get too gunked up over time. Sorry, head hitting the camera mount. So this is rubbing alcohol. It's 70% isopropyl because 90%, which is what I would normally use with alcohol markers, has gotten increasingly hard to find with the pandemic. But you can still find, or rather you can now find 70 like everywhere, even Dollar Tree. So you don't have to use expensive. And as you can see, we can't really get much of a color swatch from this, right? That's not telling us anything. So something else we can do, you can put some on the caps, that helps. But really, just plain old label paper, if you've got it, I don't. But if you've got plain old label paper, just marking it will help. And I've got all this liquid ink inside. Anyway, it's not a difficult process. It's not a challenging process or anything like that. But I think it's cool to be able to fill your alcohol markers with colors that might not be available from Copic, or you may have difficulty finding it from Copic. I do wish they would make the wides more available. I don't know why I keep calling them the wides. The sketches more available, because I would love to experiment with them a bit more using, you know, other alcohol inks, because there's all these inks for resin making, or using them for watercolor markers. You know, there's a lot of things I'd like to experiment with, but at $5 plus a marker, you're less likely to experiment. You're more likely to just go for the sure thing. So I'm going to fill the other 9 markers, and hopefully I don't overfill them the way I did this one. So I'm going to do that in time lapse.
So, not an unpleasant way to spend an evening, a little messy, and you have to not mind constantly drying your hands out with rubbing alcohol, but otherwise not bad. And, you know, you end up with some colors that you might not see from Copic possibly ever. So, theoretically, this would work with any alcohol inks that come in a bottle that you can actually dispense them. I've done this with the Jacquard alcohol inks. You can probably do it with the new Marabou ones, although they do need to be cut at the top. And you can probably do them with the Brea Reese ones. Now, my only concern with other alcohol inks really is you do kind of end up certain colors, like Ocean Green from Brea Reese is pretty much the same thing as, I think it's Lagoon from Ranger. The Prussian Blue is almost the same color as Monsoon. Monsoon's a little bit cooler. So when it comes to just buying alcohol inks, you will probably see some duplicate or some very similar colors. So if you want to avoid duplicates, you might want to start with one brand and then add in new colors as you go, because the bottle isn't always a really good approximation of what you're... No, wait, that's Flamingo. I don't know why I'm showing you guys this. This is Gumball. So close, but this is actually warmer and this is actually bluer. So it's not always a super appropriate approximation of the color you're going to get. And as you guys can probably see, our alcohol drips are very different from the alcohol inks in marker form as well. Not just with the less spidering, but like, for example, I don't remember. This might be butterscotch, but I don't think so. I think it's rust. This color looks darker and redder, and when you see it over here, it's actually kind of like a skin tone. So, you know, just kind of keep in mind that what they drip drop as in their fully saturated form might be a little bit different than what you get in the markers.
It's my birthday! It's my birthday! Happy birthday! Woo! Birthday! Birthday, Becca! Birthday! 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 It's a great day to be so great. Rah, 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 rah. Rah, 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 rah. Birthday! So I'm actually waiting on my mom to get here. And despite it being my birthday, I'm gonna get some work done. Today I need to screen some videos because VN takes up a massive amount of space on my phone, like 90 gigabytes. So I need to clear the data, and to do that I need to finish editing what's in the queue. And I was gonna work on scanning my sketchbook so I can get those out to my patrons, and so I also have fresh sketches to work on when I just feel like doodling. I also would like to put some more graphite on this watercolor illustration that I'm prepping here. And other than that, I guess we'll see where today takes us. It would be nice to record an unboxing spot, although frankly, until I can clear the cache or the data on VN, I should probably abstain from that. I've got a backlog to work on. You want to go outside? Outside? Outside. Gotta wear the harness. We ain't having no free-range Kit Kats up in here. No, you're too cute. Someone would steal you up. They'd make you their kitty cat. I can't have none of that. Okay, ready? Outside. Outside for burrito. Burrito. Going outside. He's an outside kid. Outside. Ready? Ready, steady. Oh yeah, you didn't realize it was cold. It is cold.
So after a very delicious lunch at Cafe Equator, we're going to spend my birthday as my mom at one of my favorite places, David's Art Center. Okay, so we're at seriously like the last TJ Maxx in America maybe. And they're in New Orleans for sure. And their craft section actually has a few winners in it. But what I'm interested in are these kits here. And they have a Chinese watercolor one. And I guess I just don't know enough about it to know whether I'm looking at something terrible or passable. But it looks pretty passable. So I think I'm going to pick it up and give it a shot.
This is, feel it.
They especially have a lot of Spectrum Noir stuff, including the tri-blend markers, which I really like. I like these pretty well. So these are like 3 markers in one, like 3 shades of a color in one marker. Yeah. So you get, usually you pay about $4 for them.
What about the Classique?
And those are
Spectrum Noir. They come in different colors.
Yeah, but what's cool, these do too. But I don't like the brush tips on the Classique or on the Illustrator.
So today was a pretty good birthday, despite the real celebration being tomorrow. My mom and I went to David's Art Center, like I showed you guys. I'll show you guys what I picked up there. And then we went to Tuesday Morning, which is more her thing, but there were some interesting things there as well. We also went by Chez Pierre, which is a Vietnamese French bakery, and picked up some treats and came home and had them here in Norco. And then Joseph gave me my birthday presents, and I want to show them to you guys, but I'm debating waiting until we have a house and I'll just like show them then. So one of the things he gave me was a set of the Childcraft books. When I was a girl and I would go visit my grandmother in Picayune, there wasn't a lot for me to do. So I read through all of the Childcraft books that they had several times, with the fairy tales from around the world. I think it's called Tales from Other Lands, and the animal stories, which were basically Aesop fables with some of the Hans Christian Andersen stories in there. And they also had like epic poetry. I read those books a lot as a kid, and I had actually wanted to inherit those books, but one of my aunts got them before I could. So Joseph has been stalking them on eBay and got me a set of the Childcraft books, and I want to do a couple things with them. I want to clean them up because some of them have skin like marks from, you know, just other children enjoying them in the past, and the leather looks like it could probably use some conditioning, and I want them to be something that I can share with our children when we have kids, and that they'll grow up loving too. Even if a lot of the information is dated, it's still cool to be like, okay, yeah. Like, okay, one of the books is like about science and agriculture, and they're like, we're just starting to use plastics, and it's like, everything's plastic now. So it would be kind of cool to be able to show our kids something like that and be like, this is how it used to be. This is the way people used to live, and this is how I lived when I was a girl, and this is how we live now. So I'm really excited about that. He also got me 2 animation cells from David the Gnome, which was a really formative cartoon for me growing up. It used to show on Nickelodeon, and like the more I look at David the Gnome again, and the more I look at the art and the aesthetic and the thought behind it, I'm like, oh, Kara is such a knockoff of David the Gnome, but that's okay. I highly recommend you look it up and watch it. It was a really great children's cartoon from back in the day, but I think it's got a lot of all ages appeal because I remember watching it with my dad and my dad being really into it as well. And I also received one of the David Bull Jed. What's Jed's last name? Jed. No! From Ukiyo-e Heroes. I want to say Bush, but I think I'm wrong. He gave me the Final Fantasy VI Terra and Locke, or some people say Loke, but Locke sounds cooler. Terra and Locke print. So I want to get all those framed and up. This is a rental. I can't do that here. But our forever home is going to be really cool because for Christmas I got two of the cat ukiyo-e prints, the Sakura one, and then there was like a picnic one. No, the sushi cats and the Sakura cats. So, in my opinion, we've got a really cool art collection that I look forward to putting up. So, let me show you guys what I picked up today, because that'll give you guys an idea of what to look forward to. So, since I do a lot of watercolor illustrations, I'm always in need of more watercolor paper. And they actually happen to have Moulin de Roy, which I thought was getting discontinued, but I found what looks like a new package of the rough press. Now, I've used the cold press in the past. I love Moulin de Roy. It's a joy to paint on. So I expect good things of this rough press paper. I also picked up something more practical, some white masking tape. Not only does this just have like a lot of general studio applications, but I'm actually going to use this on the eggs that I glue to prevent water from seeping into them when we dye them. Also picked this up, and these are watercolors, and I have never heard of, I've seen these at David's before, but I've never heard of this brand before. So I'm kind of curious to see how these shake out. And they seem to be maybe Russian watercolors, which I've reviewed the White Nights in the past. No, they're Spanish. Okay, that's cool. That'll be the first time I've ever reviewed Spanish watercolors, I believe. I have reviewed watercolors from Portugal in the past. Now, these are frankly probably student grade, but hopefully they're more like the Pretty Excellent and less like the Da Vinci. And of course, every time I go to David's, I pick up a few open stock tubes of watercolor, and of course, I have to pick up some of the PWCs. They're one of my favorites, as well as some Sennelier. So that's kind of how you can amass a huge hoard of watercolors, is you just get a few at a time every time. And then, there we go. On that note, so the Museum Aquarelle watercolor pencils are very expensive individually. So I basically try to pick up 3 every time I go, because they're really very nice watercolor pencils. They behave a lot like regular watercolors, and I would like to have more of them, but they are kind of price prohibitive, so slowly. And then I also picked up a Zebra Delgard, which kind of puts me in mind of a Kuratoga, as well as another Dynasty quill brush, since I do tend to use quills and larger watercolor brushes frequently when I'm doing floral studies. Now what could be in that? So Tuesday morning is a weird one. It is not a place you ever go looking for a very specific thing. It's the kind of place you go if you're like, I need to pick up scented bathroom soap, or I need to pick up some bath mats, or I need to pick up some bath towels, but you don't have a specific color in mind, you don't have a specific size in mind, you're very open to whatever the wind blows. And they do have a craft section, and they sometimes, it depends, you never really know what you're gonna find there. I see a lot of We Are Memory Keepers. I see a lot of Happy Life stuff. I see a lot of Spectrum Noir stuff, but I don't consistently see those things. So I would not go to Tuesday morning being like, oh, I'm definitely gonna find XYZ, because unless you're just looking for cardstock and packs, you're not gonna find it. But they had some neat stuff there today. I showed you a few. I'm so curious. I would love to take an in-person Chinese watercolor class. Like, that's one of my post-COVID goals. I hope I can find somebody teaching it, because I would really like to become half decent at it. You know, I think it's beautiful, and I have a lot of admiration for the simplicity to be able to render things in a limited number of strokes with a limited number of colors is really cool. And I think there's a lot that I could bring to my art with it, but I would love the guidance because I don't learn so well on my own. I've been trying to learn Chinese watercolor on my own using YouTube and using books for a while. I don't think this is gonna be like definitively teach me, but of these kits, this one seemed to be the most complete, and it seemed to be the most likely to be successful. Their watercolor kit, I was just like, ugh. So I'll share that with you guys. We'll either do it as a stream, or maybe we'll do it as a chill stream, but I kind of doubt we'll do it as a chill stream. It might just be a Friday night stream, but I'll definitely share that with you guys. Speaking of sharing with you guys, I found something just, who knows what this is, okay? So this is Kate Rogers at Paper Fashion. So it's an artist branded product. I'm not familiar with her at all. And this is a kit to create your own paint colors. Of course you can. I've made it simple and easy. Instructions included. And this is made by American Crafts. It would be interesting. They also do the Jane Davenport stuff. I don't necessarily think these are super great pigments. If they're pigments, they're probably makeup quality pigments, which, you know, as we saw from Kabocha's stream, you can use makeup quality pigments to make some really cool special effects watercolors. So I'm not dunking on that at all. But it includes some watercolor binder, which is probably gum Arabic, which is fine. It looks a lot nicer than my Winsor Newton gum Arabic. There's some vials with pigment in it, and then there is a glass muller, and it mentions instructions, and I'm kind of hoping I can convince Kabocha to co-host this stream with me, because Kabocha spent a lot of time in the studying making watercolor and has a lot of insight to offer. And I thought it would be cool to play with somebody who has some experience with something that is probably very similar to the Crayola papermaking kit, except aimed at adults. So I've never seen this in the wild. I've never seen her stuff in the wild, not at Michael's, not at David's. So I thought that would just be a really fun stream. And then, finally, they just happen to have a really good price on the Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers. I really like the Tri-Blend markers. This one they only had 2 sets. One set had 2 duplicates I already had, so I was like, nah. This one only has 1 duplicate. So what I might just do is I might just send the dupe to a friend. Because I like doing monochrome illustrations with these. And I've talked to them about them on the channel before, so you guys know what these are. But usually they retail for $4-ish each, or $4.99 each, depending on where you find them. So $12.99 for 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 6, but 5 for me. It's a pretty dang good deal. So tomorrow is the day we actually celebrate my birthday. Family's coming over. We're gonna have seafood. I hope the weather's nice. The weather was cool and gloomy today. Please don't let it be blue skies tomorrow. But what I'm going to do tonight is I have an unboxing swatch I want to finish with the watercolors from AliExpress. Those have had a few days to dry. And maybe do some voiceover work and edit some of my backlogs. So anyway, it was an alright birthday. I had a good birthday. I am glad I could share at least a little of it with you guys, and I look forward to sharing seafood with y'all tomorrow.
I also spent this evening doing voiceover work for an AliExpress paper video and finishing up this supervision review, or at least finishing capturing the footage for this supervision review. So I hope you guys will keep an eye out for that, because I'm actually really excited about this one. I really like these paints. I tried out regular supervision, the super granulating, and some of the mineral pigments. so that's basically it for my birthday this year. Well, not really. Tomorrow we're gonna have some seafood, and I'm looking forward to sharing.
So we're celebrating my birthday today. Hi guys, happy Saturday. Welcome to the weekend. And we have a bunch of errands to run before folks get here at 2. Joseph still thinking we're doing it outside. I'm thinking we're doing it inside because it's cold out there. But we got to go pick up the pie that we're having because we're having lemon meringue pie, which is one of my favorites. And I grew up enjoying the pies my Nana baked when I was a girl for my birthday for many years. And then we got to go pick up the seafood. So I'm going to bring y'all with me, but I'm in a rush, so put your shoes on and let's go. All right, so Joseph is giving Bo his anxiety meds, but we're about to head out to Haydel's Bakery, which is, I think in Jefferson. I always think it's on Harahan, but it's really like on the road that River Road turns into when you go past Kenner. So Haydel's doesn't do like breads and stuff like that, but they do some delicious pastries. And recently I had some of their eclairs and they were very good. So lemon meringue pie is not like a traditional Louisiana birthday thing. I don't think there is a traditional Louisiana birthday thing unless you're born in the summer and then it's getting like a snowball or something. We do love us some beignets, but we go get beignets like, at least once a month, off sometimes every 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably
so
once every 2 to 3 weeks.
While beignets are great, they're not really what I think of as like a birthday food. We did a doberge cake for Joseph's birthday, and that's kind of the closest I can think of to like a traditional Louisiana birthday cake, and even that isn't really, to my knowledge, I'll have to ask. My Nana might know if there's like a traditional Louisiana birthday cake, but like, I know. So off to Haydel's, y'all. Jefferson Highway. Haydel's is coming up. You're going to want to get over in your right lane. Oh, there it is. There's the Haydel sign. So go past this snowball place, the Snow Shack. They happen to serve Dippin' Dots proudly. Believe it or not, Dippin' Dots were invented in Louisiana, and my mom has never had Dippin' Dots. They are made with, yep, this is it. And good luck. I wonder if people get bead dogs elsewhere. Really busy today. Alright, they were super packed and busy in there today. That's why I didn't do too much recording. They're pretty popular though. Alright, so if you're in the area, Haydel's Bakery is on Jefferson Highway, and they're right by the Bud's Broiler, which Joseph says that I have overhyped, but I do love me some Bud's Broiler, and I grew up with Bud's Broiler. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with bead dogs, but that's when you basically take Mardi Gras necklaces and twist them into little doggy shapes. In fact, the Kara and Naomi Mardi Gras illustration has Kara with a king cake baby and a bead dog. All right, so now we're gonna go get us some boiled seafood. Okay, so we're coming up on the seafood pot, which is a very local
Delivery in front of me.
Yeah, that's right, huh?
It's a delivery, right?
Yeah. No, I said I agreed with you. You might as well park on the side.
What does that mean?
Like in that side right there, pull in, there's a spot I see. Although they're not, they said as busy as they ever are, and yet I've seen them busier. Yeah.
Alright, so those three big old bags of seafood are gonna feed 8 people plus some, because we're gonna be using them for like gumbo and for like crab meat au gratin and things like that. So I've long liked the seafood pot ever since they built it, because we'd come out here sometimes on Fridays to get seafood. But if you're new around here, this is in New Sarpy along River Road, and I do recommend them. They're a local business. Okay, pro tips for eating seafood: wear clothes you can wash, wear shoes you can wash. Your hands are gonna get dirty and nasty, so you might not, if you're wearing acrylics, you might not want to wear acrylics. That's all I got for right now. All right, so Joseph's loading up the trays. Yeah, I was waiting until y'all were done coming in. You were just serving yourself? Fine, do it. I'm gonna bring Bowie in. No, because I gotta latch the door behind
If
him.
people want me to serve them, I certainly can.
I don't know, you don't want to come in
Might be
anymore.
better to pour it out. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, we don't want to pour it all out because then it'll cool down.
Yeah, that's true.
What you're gonna eat.
I'm gonna show y'all how to peel crawfish. Twist the tail off. You can eat the fat if you want to. You can suck the head if you want to. I don't really do that myself. And then you start. Well, I want to show people why.
People don't know.
That's right, they don't. Believe me, they don't know.
You want sauce?
And then you peel this back, and you want to get that vein down. There you go. And that's it. That's crawfish.
And there's little cups.
Now these shrimp are head on shrimp.
Well, I don't know if I want to
Head off shrimp, sorry. You're not, and I'm gonna turn it off eventually. I just wanted to show how to peel shrimp, crabs, and crawfish.
Well, I need to learn how to do the crabs because I love crab, but I don't know how to break up one.
Well, Mom showed me how.
Yeah, it's from
She might have to show me again.
years ago. My
I
old
eat crab,
childhood.
but I've never done one. Crack it in the middle, I think, right?
Yeah, you do want to crack in the middle. I just start
And what you
breaking
need.
things
You take the
down.
shell off the back first.
And then you want to peel. See how there's poop in there? You do want to try and get that out if you can.
back one time I saw crawfish
Are you sharing with
Yeah.
that, or-
Yeah, we were
Oh, okay.
sharing
I was trying
so
to
we
move
could put the
potatoes off
potatoes there.
Yeah. That's fine. There's potatoes over here. Somebody didn't get any potatoes.
Right? And that's a shrimp. And then the crab.
That's full of.
I have forks and knives over here too if y'all need me.
Yeah, where?
Right here, you need a knife?
Yep.
These are supposed to be the full crabs, the
I
ones or whatever.
Felt a couple of them over there by Paul.
So, you see
Kinda
this tab
heavy,
here?
but This one, if all the meat comes out when you pull the leg out,
You want to
Yeah.
open this tab
it's
first.
not a good sign.
And then what? You crack it in half, Mom?
No, why would you crack it in half?
You pull the back off.
You pull the easy open tab.
I did the easy open tab. And then you peel off
Take that off,
the back.
pull off the back. And then take,
Yes, it's in that ice chest over there. And then you can snap it in half like this.
yeah, I usually take the gills off.
Yeah. So these are the gills.
Yeah, I need to get
And this is all fat, so you might
This one
want,
doesn't have hardly any fat in it. And then you break it in half.
yeah. And then what? You just kind of get in there. Get that. Oh, these are heavy.
That's what I said. Some of them feel like they just molted. Yeah. And some of them feel like they were just ready to molt.
Your meat flew out. All right, so that is what a tray of empties looks like. Joseph wants to make seafood stock using the Instapot. So we're trying to keep our
Boil the
seafood
shells.
shells separate from our garbage.
It's well peaked. It's not just that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Miss Sue. Happy birthday to you.
You're supposed to make a wish first.
That's right. Devin doesn't get none.
What's the first thing he's gonna ask when he
No,
comes
we're
in?
sending him.
Sounds
We're
good.
sending
Yeah,
Devin.
we're sending Devin a piece.
So what?
So put it
8?
in an 8, yeah.
Yeah, you want
And
me
then
to
we'll
bring
just
that
have
in the
one
kitchen?
piece left over for you.
So what'd you do?
Dumped a bunch of
Nasty
shells,
shells.
along with a little bit of seafood, because for some reason some of the seafood got spilled into the shells.
Yeah.
Into the pot, and then filled it up with probably too much water,
Uh-huh.
and then put it on, not above the line, but I think I probably put it above the pressure.
Are you trying
line.
to tell us that you goofed it before
No.
you even open it?
No.
You preemptively
And then I
goofing?
clicked the pressure cook button, put it on broth, let it go for 2 hours, and now it's been 27 minutes, so almost all of it vented. So
27 on top of the 2 hours.
Yeah, 27
Yeah, okay,
minutes
okay.
after the 2
Yeah.
hours. So now we can vent what little is left.
By the way, this is not a how-to. I'm just showing you what we did with the shells. We're hoping we end up...
Ask me what I did.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I did.
I appreciate it. We're hoping to get some tasty seafood broth out of it for maybe gumbo or ramen, but this is our first time doing it, so it might not work. Did you look up any kind of a recipe?
I looked up to see if the cooked shells would give you enough flavor
should, right?
to warrant
Doing it.
doing this.
I mean,
and people said it should.
most of those cook shows recommend you keep your shells, even from cooked seafood, to make a stock with.
It's taking much longer than the
You
last
thought?
time I did that.
Well, you put more liquid in, right?
Yeah, I did.
That could be why.
I should have pressurized to the same level,
Hmm.
pressurized to high.
So are you an Instapot convert?
No,
That's fine.
but we'll see how this tastes.
Ooh, it smells like cat food. I just got, yeah, see what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets cat foody
Very
whip.
strong seafood
I'm
smell.
seriously surprised Bowie's not like,
He is wandering
he's
around.
wandering in and out, hopeful that we opened up a kit, because it smells like his Nutro. His chicken and shrimp Nutro.
Yeah, it does smell a little like chicken and shrimp.
I mean, it does have shrimps, and now we know where the shrimp part of chicken and shrimp comes from. He's back in again. He's like, oh, I thought you guys opened up some food. I'll just sit here to remind you until you open up some food. And you have 2 more loads of seafood to go into this to make,
it's worth
maybe.
it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just going in the garbage.
That's.
But I
I
also
mean,
need
that's
to
fine.
figure out how I'm going to strain this.
You need to figure out how we get. Oh, we could use a strainer pot probably for most of it. I wish we had cheesecloth or something, because that would really be ideal. But we don't. But we do have a really fine strainer.
Yeah, that'll
And
work.
I just did all the dishes, so there's room in the sink.
Sure.
Yeah, cheesecloth would have been ideal.
I feel like there might be a quicker vent option, but I don't
There
know how
might
to
be.
do it.
Yeah, don't just take the lid off, because that's a good way to
I
die.
don't think it'll let you if
Good.
until that
Check plus.
that little
Yeah.
dongle goes down.
This is
It's
not.
it's a little red floater right there.
This is not a
So it
cooking
is
channel.
sinking, but until it drops, it is not at ambient pressure.
I'm not pretending this is a cooking channel, but I like showing like regular stuff from my life.
Yeah. Well, the regular stuff is we've used this one other time.
Yeah, to make
He
greens.
is
He
now-
really wants
He
it.
has discovered.
He's like, it smells like chicken and shrimp. I could go for some chicken and shrimp. I heard it was dinner time. Is it chicken and shrimp time? He really, yeah. You can tell he's from Louisiana because that little sniffer is snapping. This is Louisiana Bo. He would like chicken and shrimp, you know. Yeah, smells good. Good to you.
All right.
Moment of truth. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. All right. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Woo! Good boy!
I don't know if that's supposed to fall off.
I don't know. And this was done with already boiled seafood, so not raw. Are you just gonna taste it? Did you salt it?
No, there's plenty of salt already on the
Yeah.
stuff.
I was just asking. Again, this is not a recipe. This is two people fooling around with an Instapot and some boiled seafood.
It's got a decent color, but it's a little light.
Well,
I
the
expect it to be
thing
more concentrated
about
with all
stock
this.
is we could also keep it cooking on the cooktop and reduce it.
Yeah.
Which, after you taste it, we'll probably decide whether or not we want to go that route. Is it who boy?
Pretty good. It's got
Would
a
you
little
say
bit of a
it's
zing to it.
pretty good or just pretty good?
I'll probably do at least one more batch. I don't know about two. It really
Yeah,
depends on how much
it depends
this
on the
has
yield.
made.
Yeah, because that's full of seafood, and then you poured water around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think the yield's going to be
I mean,
that much.
You want me to rinse it off? Do you want to try it?
No, I'll try it when it's not scaldingly hot.
Well, it wasn't super hot. I tried
Bo
it.
says he would try. He really does act like he really shouldn't have this, by the way, because it's full of salt and
Oh, yeah.
spicy.
Yeah.
So if it was just seafood, we would probably let him have a little, but it's probably not safe.
Talking about this?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The red strainer.
Okay. And what do you think I should pour it into?
I'll put this away and help you. Or we could give up on the rest of it.
I'm about to, but
They look so gross now that they've been like
double cooked.
double cooked. They're so gray. That's okay though, because they've given up the spirit. The delicious seafoody spirit.
Alright. I'd say that's good. All the rest of this can go.
We made so much.
Straight in the garbage.
And we could still make so much more. That's a good gumbo base though, to be real.
Yeah.
Very seafoody. Alright, so I still have family over, but they're watching a movie and I didn't really feel like watching a movie. I had a little too much caffeine today, and honestly, over the past week, I haven't really gotten enough work done. So I'm going to give myself permission to take some time and just kind of quietly work and chill out. I had a really good day today. I don't mean this to sound like I didn't. Sometimes extroverts need some downtime. Sometimes ambiverts need some quiet time. And it's about giving yourself permission to have that space. So since they're enjoying a movie, I can enjoy some art, some watercolor, and get caught up a little bit today. It's not like I necessarily feel obligated to work, but because I use art as relaxation and as a hobby and downtime, it's nice to be able to do that. And to just be real, that room, the den, the living room, is just too dark for me to do any work in. I can't pencil, I can't paint in there. So that's definitely something when Joseph and I have our own place. I do like a mix of like softer lighting. Not everybody wants to sit on the surface of the sun, but I do think having a couple of natural light lamps would enable me to be able to hang out with people and be able to work at the same time on those occasions when I want to do both. So that's just something
to consider when we're looking at a house, whether I can, whether there's enough windows in there, or whether or not I can make that happen. So, it was a good birthday. It's still a COVID birthday in that you would like to, sometimes you'd like to have like a big deal and invite all your friends, and you can't. But it was really nice to have the people we love the most, for the most part. There are a couple of people, a couple of faces we would have liked to have seen, but it's really nice to have the people you love most, for the most part, be able to join you. So we had crawfish, shrimp, crabs. The potatoes were a little underwhelming. They weren't as spicy as they're supposed to be, and the corn was kind of underwhelming too. But the seafood itself was delicious. The crabs were very full, very packed with meat. None of them were light and watery. The shrimp were not hard to peel. Usually when shrimp are hard to peel, it's because they recently molted, so they were at just the right time. There was a lot of dead crawfish in there, but you know, that does happen when you're dealing with something that unfortunately you do have to cook when it's alive for it to taste right. What else? So we also had some tasty lemon meringue pie from Haydel's. Was not as good as my Nana's, but you know, I'm just gonna have to get her recipe. That was hard to beat. I remember hers having very dense lemon curd or lemon cream, and I loved that as a child. So I'm just gonna have to learn how she made it, and maybe I can make some sort of variation that's a little easier for a non-baker like myself to make. And mostly just hung out, had some coffee at home, and very low-key evening. So it's good. I appreciate COVID has kind of recontextualized a lot of things, and it's made me grateful for things I used to take for granted, which is wonderful. You know, that's a gift in a way to be able to do that. So it was a good birthday, and I'm hoping next year we'll have been vaccinated. Our family's already about half vaccinated, so that's great. We'll have been vaccinated, many of our friends will have been vaccinated, and we can have a different kind of birthday, the kind of birthday that I miss. I'm grateful for this one, but I like the other kind as well. So this evening, what I'm working on is I'm getting some administrative work done that I wasn't really able to get done this week. A new video went live, the Paul Rubens Unboxing Swatch, which I really hope you guys will watch. I really enjoy those paints, and I will probably be using them a lot in the future. I find them very fun to paint with, and they've kind of ignited this excitement for Chinese-made watercolors, which, to be fair, supervision has fed into that as well. So I see good things coming out of China, and I'm pretty excited about that. I've also seen a lot of innovation coming out of China when it comes to art supplies, which, to be fair, they were there first. They invented many of the materials and many of the techniques, but it's really cool to see some recent innovation and some recent interesting products, because I definitely think we need some new stuff. We need some movers and some shakers. So administrative stuff, I want to work on penciling an illustration. That's just taking me a long time. I've been putting time into it every day, and it just takes a while to pencil it because it's a more involved illustration. I might as well show you guys what I'm talking about, and hopefully it'll show up on camera. So it might not seem like much, but there's a lot of foliage, there's a lot of detail, and it's just taking a while to get done. So I want to put some more progress on that. And then I was also hoping to work on this other illustration that's been on the block for years, and I'm trying to work through my backlog. And what I envision for this is kind of like a watercolor punch using Brusho. And so I would put a mask on Kara herself, and then apply the Brusho, let that dry fully, remove the mask, and then do the normal watercolor painting. So ideally, I'd like to apply the mask and do the Brusho tonight. But we shall see. They may want to do something else after the movie. I just didn't necessarily feel like playing games, and I didn't necessarily feel like watching a movie. Like I said, I was over-caffeinated, so I just feel like doing things. And my ADHD friends who over-caffeinate, y'all know, like, I'd be like fiddling the whole time, you know? So I think it's good to do some other, but I'd love it if somebody wanted to come hang out with me. I'm not like trying to completely remove myself. But anyway, I'm talking in circles now. Let's get to work. Now you may go. This is my genius husband. Oh, I thought you were cutting a hole and just letting all the seafood.
No, I need to go through it. I just want to get out
The
liquid that's on the bottom. I thought there was more. I guess not.
And you're doing another batch of the broth, right?
Yeah.
It turned out pretty good. You tasted it. It was too hot. I didn't want to boing myself. But you said it tasted pretty good.
Yeah.
And you didn't add anything except not old, but from lunch. Seafood shells and water. And we made a bunch too. It makes, in the Instant Pot, it makes a lot.
Do this down here.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, you don't really have to do any prep. What you want
I'm going
is
through and making sure to pick out any of the
the
ones
dead
that are
ones.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not like, they're not
Uh-oh.
further
Gonna
washed.
have to keep him warm.
Uh-oh, the gray beast
This one looks a little ragged.
wants extra.
Pull that out. Here we go. Although this one actually, oh no, the eyes are a little off.
Yeah, you don't want to put any bad seafood in there. You might get sick.
Rob, what y'all want to eat?
What do you mean?
Me and Dad's got to eat something. My head's starting to hurt.
Well, you guys can leave. What?
That's what I keep telling them.
You don't have to eat here.
I think
That's not what we're saying.
Kenneth is hoping we'll go get beignets.
There's a lot more dead ones in here.
Yeah, there are.
We've got some greens if you want greens.
Got lots of shrimp, crawfish, and crab.
There's a whole lot
Yeah,
of
that's
dead
a
ones
gross
in here.
one.
I think that's it.
I mean, seafood can be so expensive that if you,
Not much
to
left,
get a
but-
little extra out of it.
I'll just throw it away.
And the Instant Pot took something that would have
You left
taken.
the 35 candles, didn't you?
I mean, they're gone now. I was gonna keep the
Pull
3
out.
for next year, but don't worry. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, because, I mean, she could use it again.
I could,
If
yeah,
they-
until
You're really
4.
gonna keep a candle?
Yeah, I wanted to see how melted down I could get. It'd be kind of neat to do that year to year, but whatever.
Well, wait till we have a house.
Yeah, that's true. It makes it easier when
It's
you.
like your mother. She doesn't like to waste.
It's not necessarily about not wasting. It's about, I think it would be cool to see the candle melt down over the
Keep
years.
going.
Yeah. So then you're just gonna what? Fill it up with water, right?
There's a powder in there? I've never seen that before.
You don't have to use filter, but Joseph is. He's fancy like that. If you don't have it, I'm saying like you don't have it. You water in your garden. know you're cleaning it, but is that like when you punch the ocean, cut the water? Our family's talking about watching Craft Me, steady crafting.
Yeah, this is a max pressure.
Uh-huh.
I filled it up past that.
This is why this is not a cooking channel.
This time, I will fill it slightly above that line.
Because Joseph does what he wants.
You think that means for liquid, or you think that means total?
I thought it meant for total, but I don't know because they got lines going all the way up. You bowed at it.
Yeah, I know.
We ought to try making gumbo in this because you could get a roux going, right? Because you can have it on. That might make some really good gumbo, actually. You can make a lot of gumbo too. All right, set the spaceship. CNC, right? They're talking about CNC.
Mm.
Do you want it on broth? Yeah, broth. 2 hours.
I know.
Go. Alright, y'all, so it's like almost 10 o'clock tonight. I'm not going to be able to make any further progress on that piece until it's had a chance to dry out, so I'm probably going to revisit it tomorrow. It being Saturday, that is the end of our week, so I'll see you next week. Starting with Sunday, tomorrow, we hope to go to the Botanical Garden tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm particularly looking forward to getting lots of exciting new reference images. I hope you guys had a safe and happy week. If your birthday was this week or anytime this March, I want to wish you a very happy birthday, fellow Pisces and or Aries. And I guess I'll see you guys next week. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sharing my birthday week with me. And hopefully next week we make loads of art. Bye guys. Bye, 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 bye. Oh, and Monday we are supposedly, theoretically, probably dyeing Easter eggs. So if that sounds like fun to you, join me for the Monday Chill stream.